Oh man, they changed. I need to... Okay, that's how you find the share link now on YouTube. Blasted redesigns.
Yeah, YouTube's kind of awful. Also, it says we're offline.
No, somebody missing says we're on.
Now we're live.
Now we are.
Woo!
What?
All right.
Are people listening?
Yeah, we got a live. We've got a live chat going. I can send you a link to that real quick. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
So that way you can keep a watch on it.
Good. And I can shout at the chat people. I didn't put up a link for my own guys this time. Usually I do that, but this time I was lazy.
Yeah, let me make sure I give a Twitter yell out. Let's see.
The Bronyville, it is alive. We're well within our normal time frame.
Yeah. Okay.
Why not Zoidberg?
Okay, there we go. If you could retweet that Sandy face. Let's see, anything else that needs to be... Midnight Shadow, Pandacraft. Damn, that looks nice on the stream. That's a good looking... You're good at this, baby. You're good at setting up images in big impact fonts. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. We'll have to figure that. Tetra will draw us a new logo. I don't know.
Yes. Tetra, get to it.
I don't know if he can stop getting screen crabs of Luna. We'll see.
Luna!
Luna ponies.
Is he even in here? Down the list. There he is. Yes. Alright, so. Hi, everybody. We are here. We're alive.
New pony episode. New horse. Personal equines.
Yes. And the destruction of some really terrible fanon.
Yep.
Ah!
Yeah, I guess Tetra has evacuated for a moment. Oh well. We'll harass him later. That's fine. Okay. Oh, let me make sure everybody... I'll give a link out to the doc. Let's see.
That's not what I meant to link at all.
Watch that paste button there, Sandy.
I have no snout and I must scream. Ah.
Aw, Tetra's been sick. Sorry. Be unsick. Okay, let's see. I've changed our setup a little bit, so Starry is actually over at her command center now, and she's going to be... Maybe she'll... oh, would you be able to grab a cap of the chat? Could, please? I love you. I know, I make things so hard.
Okay, I just asked for payment.
Okay. We are recording. In addition to the Justin TV stuff. Could be Justin TV auto record. Magic button. Let's see. Okay.
Yes. AC has a bit of background noise this week.
I do? That's a shame. Hold on. Let me, it might be just the plug-in. Tell me if any of this, like, it's just USB stuff. Or is it just ambient noise from the room? Is it like the high-pitched whine, or is it ambient noise?
It's sort of a whine.
Sounds like your computer.
Yeah, it probably is. Let me do this. I could just kick my volume down just a little bit. You guys still hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that'll
Yep.
make it a little bit little less odd on your end. Of course, everybody else does not hear the whine, so because that's just a different way of this audio setup. Okay. Shall we do a show, Sandy?
I think we should.
Let's do a show.
All right.
Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Bronyville. This is Bronyville, episode number 84, recorded on December 8th, 2012. I am your host, Apple Cider. Hello, everyone. I was double-checking my notes to make sure that was correct. But it is. That's good.
I'm glad that you were sure you were apple cider.
I wanted to make sure. I was reading the top of the document, and I was just kind of like, wait, let me make sure. No. That's the correct time. Wanted to make sure I didn't make any large foolish mistakes like I may have done in the past. Great show for us. We have more pony episode. As always, Sandy is here. Hello, Sandy.
Hello.
Glad to have you here today. It's been a
You're
week.
lucky.
It sounds like a week.
It's been a heck of a week. But I'm here to record a podcast and talk about cute cartoon horses, so it'll get better.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. It's good to have you along. It was definitely a rough patch, I guess you could say, for you. But let's go ahead and do this. Our guest this week, I love his animations. I found about it with the Biker Gorilla animation he did, Captain Hook and the Biker Gorilla. That was the moment it hit EQD. I pretty much had to watch any of his episodes the moment they came out. So I loved it. It's FimFlamFilosophy.
Hello.
Hey, man. How you doing? I just want you to know that second to the official Rainbow Dash, you're like the times when I was speaking with you, I actually kind of heard, like, when we were chatting, anything I read was kind of in your Rainbow Dash voice.
Yeah, well, I was busy. I was explaining the mentality behind why you would want to run the Crystal Kingdom in the terrible way that it was run. Mm-hmm. And it involves exactly that kind of logic. So
yeah, it's just the absurdo dash logic that completely makes it make every bit of sense.
Yeah, well, everything makes sense if you just don't slow down and think about it.
Absolutely. So that's great. As said, we're going to talk definitely. There you go. People are already asking. Are actually asking you to do some Dash voice right now. I'll tell you what, if you could just please me. Let's find that bit of dialogue we had yesterday.
Okay.
And,
go back and read that.
Might be able. I would love to actually read that in Dash voice.
Let me see.
I've got it right here. I'll post it in our own chat, our own Skype chat. There we go.
Where should we start? From the top of... you got it in there from the top of...
Yeah.
Like, if I want to direct people's attention... you're like, do you want to direct people to things? And I was like, oh yeah, Turkmenbashi. That guy's insane. He's got the golden statues of his mom and his orphanage palace, and... He's crazy.
Hold on. Yeah, let me.
Some people suggested stuff. And it's like, does it help if I think Crazy Pants dictatorship is what made Sombra so horrible to the Crystal Ponies? He wasn't really scary or evil, just insecure and flippin' crazy. He had a cat growing up, so they used to build statues of the cat everywhere. Every Tuesday they were supposed to wear feather headdresses and spend all day in church worshipping crystals, because Sombra thought that it would be the economic salvation of their nation. I mean, like, crystals are not a good building material. They'd be drafty. Probably. I don't know. I assume they'd be drafty.
That is perfect for me. That's just the absolute best type of absurdist humor that I absolutely go for. So yes, I'm very, very happy to have you here because I absolutely love that kind of humor that you generate. So yeah, super glad to have you here. We're definitely going to talk about your animations. Find out if and when Dashie is going to hit because I'm desperately awaiting for that. And then, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's going along really well. I think we're hoping to have that sometime late this month. Although Pederup could probably tell you more about that than I could for sure, because he's taken more control over the whole process, the editing process, than we used to do.
Okay,
so
that'll be great. Well, we'll talk about that, why you do it, some of your other projects that we can find over on your site and everything. And as I said, yeah, I've been wanting to get you on for a while because if there's any particular animator, oddly enough, if there's any animator in this fandom I've really wanted to spend a lot of time with, it's yours because the humor absolutely has me rolling, so it's great. Let's do this. To start off, we have to answer 2 questions before we start the show. This is, if they do not happen, we have to shutter the show. It cannot move forward. Everyone has to go home. It's sadness across all of Equestria. So a lot of pressure on here. We have to know from you favorite character and favorite episode.
Oh, what did I tell you? I can't remember now.
Okay, so your answers earlier were Tracy.
Yes.
Which you need to explain.
So original. Okay. I actually go to 4chan more often than I go to any other pony site, mostly because people there are cruel and unusual. So whenever we post an episode, I go to 4chan to see what they say because they're really mean about it. And so on 4chan, they have a character, and she's the element of originality, Tracy. She's basically just a traced pony, and she acts a lot like Pinkamena Diane Pie from the Crooked Trees Tumblr. So nothing she does is terribly original, but her cutie mark is Nicolas Cage.
Correct choice. All right, and of course, in the also odd tradition of some people choosing not Friendship is Magic shows for their favorite episode, I had to search this one.
Yes,
but it's Moki's funeral.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Is it? Because I haven't actually seen the whole episode, but it's the really morbid episode of the Fraggles where the 2 kids get buried alive and then they have to cope with death.
That might not be. Yeah, I don't think that's the
it's
exact
really
one.
Depressing.
Maybe someone here is a big Fraggle fan and they can point us to the correct Fraggle Rock episode.
I just know. See, I read about it, and then I actually watched the scene where they're sitting around, and they're like, I'm getting really dizzy, and I feel giddy, and they're like, oh, that's us running out of oxygen and dying, and they're cute little puppets. They're just what do you think it's like to die, cute puppet friend?
Cut to every dark end of a show ever, end of dinosaurs.
Yeah, well, it's dinosaurs.
Bad end.
Alf ended. He got captured, and then that was the end of the show. Yeah,
and then they had a TV series. They had a made-for-TV movie where his family didn't know him anymore. They had totally just gotten brain wiped for him.
Really
weird. All that stuff, and dinosaurs. Dinosaurs go extinct at the end. Bad end. Spoilers all over this episode.
That's what happens to the dinosaurs, though. I mean, you knew. I mean, even if they lived and their next generation went on, you know that sooner or later the dinosaurs were all going to die.
Yeah, but maybe you could just be and they got in spaceships and flew away, and now there's alien dinosaur colonies, because, I don't know. Just more ridiculous stuff to add to it. All right. Well, I'm sure that we will have a lot of ridiculous things to go through, because, as said, your absurdist humor is probably one of my favorite aspects of part of this fandom. So let's do this. Before we move forward, we've got sponsors, Sandy. So who are they?
Yes, indeed, we have sponsors because we're cool ponies who talk about cool things. First off, we got our guys friends over We Love Fine. You can get 10% off your purchase with code Bronyville10. And they have added, as always, new shirts. Lots of stuff. Zakora shirt that I mentioned last week is up and available in women's now, so it's not just for dudes. What? Chicks want to wear My Little Pony shirts? What's with that?
Doho.
Yeah, that's cool. Las Pegasus Unicon, they've got some pretty cool stuff coming up. They have... Coming up February 22nd, 24th, you'll be going to that AC.
I shall. And we'll be hanging out with a bunch of show personnel, giving you guys some, probably doing some streams, live interviews, and, everything that we can out there. That's Las Pegasus Unicon. Go check it out. I'm going to be there, and we'll have a good time. I'm looking forward to it heavily. My first trip to Vegas.
Woo!
Starry
Just
is
make sure you keep your shirt on your back.
Yeah, Starry is. I'm already like, sweetie, I'm only going to spend a little bit of money there, and she's like, no, not even a little. Knock it off. I'm like, aw.
So I said you're not allowed to gamble.
Okay. What do you consider gambling?
Oh, gee, I wonder.
Oh well. Let's see. And we actually have a new sponsor, friend of ours. Go ahead, Sandy.
All right. This is our friend Inky Spot's comic shop, mlpcomics.com, and it just links to his online site, where he is carrying copies of My Little Pony Friendship's Magic, the comic. And you can buy from him as sort of a way of saying thank you for hosting Bronyville for as long as he has, and us eating up all of his bandwidth without any charging.
Yep.
Without charging it.
And if you go there right now, he's actually got the 6 covers, the 6 main covers with all the main 6, obviously, as well as the Jill Thompson variant cover there in the front. So if you still need to get the comics, and if you want to get the comics moving forward, go ahead and, this is one of our friends. He keeps the show going. And if you need to go ahead and do it, why don't you go ahead and grab your comics over there at mlpcomics.com.
That Jill Thompson cover, Fluttershy's face really just...
Woo! She's part Birdo.
Oh no! That takes us some weird places. All right.
Yep. All right. So news time. First off, anything on fire?
Fandom status this week is pretty chill.
All right.
So that's good.
Cool.
What happens when fandom status is not chill?
It's fire.
It's fire.
That's the option. The other option is on fire, which we have had fire alerts several times.
Or smoldering.
Max Spaghetti, get your choice of fire alerts. It's only macaroni salad this week. We're doing okay.
All right, so moving on, we have news this week. So the Hub's Naughty or Nice Awards have returned for a second year, and we completely destroyed them last year, and voted Discord to be the best villain, which isn't really surprising, because any poll we tend to touch as a fandom, we destroy utterly, which is kind of amusing that they didn't include Discord this year.
So what's our choices this year? What are our naughty and nice pick throughs?
All right, as I wait for the... Oh my gosh, this website is really loud. There, turn off the noise. So you've got nicest right now. It's Jimmy the Robot from Aquatina Forest Aquabat Super Show, Blades the helicopter from Rescue Bots, and Blythe, who is a creepy human. Jimmy the Robot, he totally wins. Let's see, naughtiest of all, you've got the Biscuit Twins, which are the antagonist girls from Little's Pet Shop. Alakshmi from something. I'm going to guess that Kaijudo or whatever it was. Yeah. And Dan from Dan Versus.
Okay, Dan.
Villainous Laugh, Megatron, Razor Kinder Puppet from, again, Kaijudo, and somebody named Dr. Mangle, which I'm guessing is from Aquabats. Nastiest Hissy Fit, Starscream, Penny Ling, and Fluttershy.
What's the hissy fit from Fluttershy?
I don't got to look at this.
Huh.
Fluttershy having a nasty hissy fit?
Maybe it was when she.
Yes.
She threatened the gardener.
Don't give a flying feather. Would that be it?
Well, like she threatened that little old gardener. Like that's probably all that guy has to do after retirement, and like that's his whole life. He's very proud of that work. And then
in this case, it's when she flings the tourist into the hay bale. It's from the Iron Will episode. Mm-hmm. It destroyed his camera. So yeah, Fluttershy.
I think we got soft bailed this year.
Naughtiest use of a villainous power as Chrysalis.
Okay, all right. She's evil.
If you would like to vote for villainous Bug Pony, you totally should.
I'm fine with voting for Bug Ponies.
Nicest doesn't have a pony thing. Best Hub Jam. Oh, well, look at that. They've got Flim Flam Cider Song is the best song.
Yeah.
Bet you'd vote for that, AC, huh?
No!
Awesomeest Good Deed. Doesn't care. Has Optimus Prime. Okay. And nicest use of heroic powder, Mimsy Bat Commander. Seriously, if you're going to do this, vote for the Aquabats, vote for ponies, and whatever else.
Yeah,
that's just what I would say. There's not a lot of pony in this particular one.
Nah, well, we kind of did decide to just completely destroy it last time. So
yeah, your only choices are best Hub Jam, nastiest hissy fit, naughtiest use of villainous power. The rest of it, not pony at all.
Yeah, we did kind of take every single category last year when it was just like, all right, well now we have to play 72 hours of My Little Pony. It's like, oh god, we're so tired.
There's not enough pony to go around.
Here, let's just play Applebuck Season on repeat for 72 hours, and maybe that will just make them go away. All right, so there's the awards there. Also, may I add, and I had a friend add this, and this isn't part of the show notes, but I'll just go ahead and say, Coder Brony actually pointed me over there. So they're doing the ratings over there at TV.com.
Yes.
So they're doing the best of 2012, and there is the best animated series that is out there right now. And the vote, I will go from bottom to top. Is Family Guy, Futurama, Bob's Burgers, South Park, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Gravity Falls, Adventure Time, Young Justice, The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, and My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. And we are stomping them.
Yes. Stomping into, like, tiny little bits.
Yeah, it's to give an idea, the top three is Young Justice at about 81,000, The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra at 186,000, and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic at 634,000. A factor of like 6.
Now, bear in mind that these kind of things are usually kind of insecure, so people will find a way to rig the vote and screw around with it. And it could be people even for pro-pony doing this, so you never know with these kind of things. They might flip it around and, oh wait, we have to delete 90% of your votes because they were, boosted by bots.
Yeah, or you could always say that, it's one of those things where you make a vote, they choose from the top 3 or something like that. It's always the option of, hey, there's a billion things that you can vote. Everybody's going to vote for these things. Things will go crazy, but, they could always decide to change, make their particular vote for what's, like, best everything. And this is in addition... Or go ahead.
I was like, that's what happened with the TV Guide. When they had the fan favorite selection, Ponies won with, like, 1,000 more votes than Doctor Who, but they still went with Doctor Who for the cover, so...
It doesn't surprise me.
Oh no, We are losing meaningless polls on the internet.
I don't know. People are going to think about us differently or not. Okay, let's move on. Galacon, what we got with them?
All right, they have announced that the German VA for Discord, Michael Pan, is going to be attending their convention here in 2013. They are some pretty cool guys, do a con in Germany, and don't afraid of anything. And if you look at their website right now, they actually have their OC Kani and drawn in like all the styles from G1 to G4, including a 3.5 looking one. But they are going to be happening in August 3rd through 4th, 2013 in Ludwigsburg, Germany. And the venue is Forum am Schlosspark.
All right.
You can follow the link off Torpedoes News, where the original article is located.
Okay.
So that's cool. The European cons are actually having a lot better time of getting guests for the time being.
Yeah, the Hasbro, at least on stateside, is actually having a very hard... it sounds like Hasbro has kind of closed their doors for a little bit, at least, marketing-wise, and that could be, simply by... it could very well simply be, hey, we're gearing down for the holidays and everything, or it could just be a simple just redirection in how they're dealing with our and other, fandoms. So we'll see. I know that a lot of the con people are kind of in a dicey spot, so...
Yep.
All right, moving on. White Pony.
White Pony, Marshmallow Horses. Funrise to release Rarity plushie in the spring. So the licensed ponies that have the weird sort of felt manes that nobody's really happy with, but the plush themselves are kind of cute. Their Rarity one will be out spring 2013. So they have 5-inch, 10-inch, and 20-inch plushies, Twilight Sparkle, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, and Rainbow Dash out in the wild. I haven't found a Fluttershy in the wild because I would totally have her if I did. Mm-hmm. Because the packs I've only seen at Target have only had Twilight Sparkle, Pinkie Pie, and Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, and these look like the big ones. I actually came across. I was up in the Oakland area earlier this week, and I actually found a massive Walmart, and they actually had the 10-inch Pinkies. And I was like, oh, 10-inch Pinkie. I don't exactly want it.
Okay, so apparently Toys R Us is going to be the place for the 20-inch, which those are fairly significant plushies.
Oh yeah, they're. I think that might have been the Pinkie size I saw. It was a big 20-inch, and I was like, oh hey, I'm all right.
Yeah, there's only so much space.
I've already got the
little ones. Little ones are fine though.
Yeah,
the small ones are fine.
Yeah, I've got the small ones. I've got Dash, Pinkie, and Twy. So I'm all. I've taken care of all three of those. So, yep.
So this next bit of news is actually really interesting. It's a breakdown of the Nielsen ratings age data. Nielsen being one of the main company that judges television ratings, been around forever. And basically it breaks down the audience demographics for 3 particular episodes during Pony's existence. And this is only based on data of people watching the hub with a Nielsen box, and then it's extrapolated out. So it's not like, this is all the people that are out there. This is all the Pony fans. No, this is only the people that are watching it from a Nielsen box with the hub. But it breaks down pretty well. So the season 3 premiere, you can go ahead and look at these in the show notes, that we are listed in the mystical not women 18 to 49, as for most of us, I would say. We are the not women. Women 18 to 49 are included. And there's age 12 to 17, and then there's the little kids. Mm-hmm. So, women 18 to 49, according to their data for the season 3 premiere, actually outstrip the not women by a full third, or actually half. So they have half again the number of women watching it as men, 92,000 to 64,000. Then 12 to 17, 103,000. So I mean that's kind of cool that Ponies is getting a demographic switch outside of there. And of course, the kids 2 to 11 are pretty big.
Well, I mean, they're 2 to 11's massive. It's over 50% either way you look at it. I mean, for Candlelight Wedding, they're 75%.
Well, I would expect so, because it is a children's show, by the way.
Oh. Yeah, the usual. And
Ponies
of course,
are for kids.
And of course, this all is the Nielsen stuff. If it, as mentioned, if it is the Nielsen TV, it does not count people who are jumping on the streams and watching. So, it's not getting any of that. That's simply counted as one, even if the person has a Nielsen box. So, it looks like that. It's an interesting. It's math. It's numbers. It's science.
Yeah. Like the Nielsen had 601,000 viewers for season 3's premiere, but then they only had 483,000 for Candlelight Wedding. So clearly, the Nielsen portion of the people that are watching Ponies has grown by a third since during the break. More people that are not necessarily engaged in the fandom are watching the show via the hub than were prior to the end of season 2. And then the Hearts and Jose, which was back in Valentine's Day this year, they only had like 236,000 viewers. So
that was
clearly
that was a standard episode, so I'm not really surprised there. I'd be curious to see how this trend goes, like how it moves along. So yeah, that's interesting. It's a bunch of math, numbers, and types.
Ponies is certainly still growing in popularity, and since Hub is getting more available out there and being added to more packages, more people are watching. What a surprise. It's actually been a good year for the Hub.
Cool.
In terms of their financials. Though you could probably safely ignore most of the comments, as you can usually do to pretty much every website ever.
Yep. All right, so bad news time.
Bad news time. RIP MLP Online, dead at 18 months. I think I brought this up actually a little while ago, that I noticed that they had marked their website, "We're reorganizing our stuff," and then I didn't really pay any attention further than that. Then lo and behold, the press release is put out today saying that, we're shut down because Hasbro told us that we have to, or they're going to sue us into oblivion.
What was My Little Pony Online?
That was the from scratch 3D, I believe, like social thing where you made your own OC of one of the 3 races and you'd run around Ponyville and could chat to other people, and they had made 3D landmarks of various places in Ponyville, like Sugar Cube Corner and the like. I don't think it got very far. They released like episode 1, which is just like a portion of the game, and then Hasbro goes, "Wait a minute, that's not kosher."
That's the one where you're driving away from the large exploding building, right?
I'm not sure.
My Little Pony
because unfortunately, there's been a lot of these projects that we talk to them and then they disappear like 3 weeks later. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, there's the MLP Online, and I'm losing the track of all the games. I mean, the only one that seems to be out there with any form of real consistency, at least from what I can tell, is that there's Fighting is Magic, and that's certainly something that they're still ginning up and they're still working on. It's making the rounds.
How are they doing anyway? I saw that they had a huge fuss when they got the thing leaked, and then they panicked and blamed a bunch of people and got angry at the fans. And
so far they're still working on it. I did check on them the other day because I was like, I haven't heard anything from Main 6 in a while. And they're still around. Still says they're working. And last post was October 31st. Ooh.
I think it would be nice. The problem with all these games is that they're in production for so long, it would be good if they could just maybe get like a core kind of thing down and say like, here's one pony finished and we've got all her attacks and everything, and then they could just release, all 6, and they would all just have that exact same attack, and that would just be the start. Like you can play this game as we've got it. It won't be another like 20 years before we've got anything released.
It is the nature of fan games that they get it with a lot of ambition, and they don't necessarily have the tools to actually make them happen.
Yeah, because it's not something. I mean, we all know that there is no way they could actually make money off of doing this. It's borderline copyright infringement as is, or no, it is copyright infringement as is. And they are pretty much just riding on the coattails of goodwill.
Which sometimes our community doesn't have too much of.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree. I wouldn't mind if they had just simply, early on, been like, here's a game, it's all Applejack right now. Like, all
Applejack versus Applejack, fate of 2 apples.
Just beat up your little sister. No, that would have been good. Like if they all had the same moveset. It's just like you can only play as Applejack, and all the other ponies have the same moveset. And the objective is to beat Apple Bloom.
Darkfish. That would be very interesting to see Dash just bring out the rope.
Yeah, you just play his Dash, and your only opponent is Scootaloo. And you can lose. I mean, she fights back, but like that's the whole objective of the game.
She's just the shadow mode. Like you're just the training mode is one of like the little shadows, but you can tell it's like a filly of a particular model. Like it's not really rendered, but it's just like, oh no.
That would be like Dash beating up her past insecurities. That's what we'll call it.
Pinky assaulting her shadows.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Well, I'd be interested. As said, Main 6 is something I'm kind of interested in, but I have, it's long time in the working. I don't know. I mean, they've definitely been doing this for quite some time, and I am afraid that they might be getting to the slowdown period. So they say right now they're working on Dash, Fluttershy, and other stuff. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I think it would be great to have at least one of these things hit before the fandom collapses upon itself, before it ejects itself into the sun.
Hey, December 21st is coming up pretty quickly. You guys better step to it.
Yeah. Quickly, let's all Kickstarter them to finish their game.
Oh, then they no.
They all get a Fighting is Magic shirt and a keychain and then they'll really get stopped by Hasbro.
And you'll a special OC maker in the character creation page.
You too can beat up your favorite characters. For My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Have you ever wanted just to beat the ever-living tar out of Applejack? Well, guess what? You get exactly what you've always wanted. I didn't always want that. You're putting words in my mouth.
Do you think Rainbow Dash was a jerk this episode?
Yes.
You could totally make your OC. Da-da-da.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll have a story mode? Like they'll be like King of Iron Fists tournament where like I don't know, someone is trying to drain the demon gene out of Applejack, and that's the whole point of the tournament.
Except it's the apple gene.
Yeah, the apple gene.
Yeah, can it be? It
gives her apple powers.
Can it be something like really absurd, like the Soul Calibur like history, where there's like a set of like there's like a golden apple and an evil apple, and the evil apple corrupts you, or something like bizarre like that.
And then like you end up with the Chrysalis version or the Bug Pony versions of the main 6.
Ooh, that'd be.
Oh, they could do a changeling though. It'd be like Combat or Mokujin or whatever from Tekken. It has random moveset. It just transforms into another pony. It would be easy. You just easy programming. Just random number generator.
Totally. Well, I'm sure that the main 6 guys, if they're still working on it, and I'm sure they are, I hope, will totally not take our ideas under consideration because they have their own.
Yep. Though we would like it
All
sooner,
right.
as everyone does.
Yes, and the last bit of news was actually the TV.com Best Animated Series poll includes Pony, which we've already covered because AC jumped the gun.
Ha ha!
All right, so we're now moving forward into topic time. AC, the ball is in your court.
Hooray! So I've titled this one "Silly Voices for Fun, Profit Pending," because, as said, FimFlamFilosophy, who is our guest this week, as noted earlier, you do the Rainbow Dash Presents series in addition to all the other work that's over on your website. Go ahead and introduce pretty much everything that you do.
Oh, okay. Everything I do.
Yes. I wake up in the morning feeling
yes, well, I wake up in the morning, and sometimes I go to work, and sometimes I don't. And I had a full-time job, but now I don't have a full-time job now, just part-time. What I do, I'm probably best known for Rainbow Dash Presents right now. I do that together with Poniver is our artist. And he's the one who does all the cute artwork and whatnot. And so he and I work together, and we discuss like how exactly do we want the episodes to play out. I write the script and do most of the voices. He's actually got a voice in the upcoming episode of My Little Dashie. You'll get to hear Poniver's voice maybe for the first time for some of you. He's going to be a little girl, of course. And so we're working on what we do is parodies of My Little Pony fanfiction. Is we just take My Little Pony fanfiction, and then we use a character who is a parody of Rainbow Dash, using my voice, the Rainbow Dash voice I did earlier in this interview, and we tell the story in whatever disjointed fashion I think up at the time. Usually highlighting a lot of weird holes or storytelling ideas that popped up in the story that don't make any sense when you think about them. But every story kind of has those, because a lot of times you've got to just overlook problems. If you solve problems before they become problems, you're intelligent, but you don't have a story. You just have normal life. So that's kind of what we do. That's what people know us for. We also do a couple other things. We have a couple comics that we do. We do a comic about dwarves, which is kind of fun. We're at like about 51 pages of that now, I think. We also have a kind of horror comic that has not really taken off too much. We've got like maybe 3 or 4 pages of that right now. But the artist who's doing that is also thinking about submitting some other things. She does these little doodles that are kind of adorable, and we're thinking of just calling those the funny pages. And they're kind of cute in a dark sort of way, but those will get posted maybe. We also do the Mentally Advanced series, which is basically like a bridging, if you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged or Team 4-Star or whatnot. It's kind of like that, except for instead of actually abridging the episode, I kind of deconstruct the whole episode and then build it into something else. And of course, all the females have male voices because I'm a male, and that was what I had to do. So yes. What else? Well,
that's kind of like the joke throughout the all your other series too, because anytime there's a guy voice, it seems like there's try to put a female voice and then female voices to male characters. That's just kind of an ease to easier to work with, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, the problem was I would have had to get female voice actors to do my female voices, and I had none when I first got started, so I was just like, I'm doing it. It was I actually got started on it because I had a conflict with another group that was trying to do abridged pony stuff, and we had a creative difference is what people describe it as on the internet, and then I was like, okay, forget it, I'm doing my own, and all I had was my own voice, so I just did all the voices, and so Spike, technically though male, has a male voice still, and so does Big Mac. Because I hadn't decided that they were just going to switch until too late. And so now Big Mac has a girl voice. Mm-hmm. So it's too late for him.
Why not?
Yep.
Just added in inside of there. So, and you have your website, and I thought, the name's changing somewhat. It was always morning somewhere. It's always dawn somewhere now, it looks like.
It's always been dawnsomewhere.com, and the reason was because the original thing was it's always morning somewhere, and in fact, something that Celestia says in one of the episodes. But when we went to buy the domain morningsomewhere.com, we saw that they were selling it for like $1,000.
Yeah.
And so he said, it's not worth that much to us. So we went with dawnsomewhere.com, and so we're dawnsomewhere.com. That's just what we wound up going for.
Okay. And you've got stuff not only pony related, you've got some skits, Alan Hours, and other things that you've got up on the site.
Yeah, Alan Hour, Remarkable DeMarcus, other just little spoofs and shorts and things like that. We've also got some fan fiction, and I did like a OC writing guide or something once. I don't know. So there's stuff to read too. Just it's an entertaining little site.
So the main kind of big thing, as I said, I first found out about you, and I think many would say the exact same thing, is was that first post that hit the front page of Equestria Daily for the Captain Hook and the Biker Gorilla.
That wasn't the first time we got on there.
Oh,
that was the one. Yeah, that was the one where we were like, oh my god, I can't even get on this friggin' site. And then finally we got on the friggin' site. So, you know, they were. I don't know. Sathisto has not really. I guess he's not just really into our humor. So he always kind of put us aside. The Mentally Advanced series came back after like a year and 2 months of waiting, and he's just like, I'll just fit it in with everything else. So we didn't get like a front page thing, which is frustrating because Friendship is Witchcraft always gets their like big front page deal. Like they get. We made fun of them once. It was like they put Peter Pan background with Space Jam, and he just puts it up on the front page. Trixie Variety Show, yeah. So it was just like frustrating. It's like, why does this get a front page view? Nah.
But the moment that you made that critical poke about it, it immediately hit front page.
I think it's because they got bombarded with emails, and so it was just one of those things. They're like, okay, we'll comply. So they comply. They do that now with Rainbow Dash Presents. We've also got a guy who's a really big fan of it who actually works on Equestria Daily now, and so he's actually one of our sponsors. He gives us a little bit of money because he likes to see us continue to work on things. So he gives us a bit of money every time we produce a Rainbow Dash Presents episode because he wants to, like I said, he wants to incentivize us. Where he doesn't really want advertisement, but I advertised him anyway. So. But yeah, we've got a guy on there now who wants to put us on the main page, and he does when we pop up, so that's no problem anymore. But the Mentally Advanced series doesn't get the same love because it's whatever.
Now, if you ever need me to give a good stick poke to Seth, don't worry, I've got a short stick to him, so if you need a secondary poker, I can make things happen. But let's just go ahead.
There will be poking.
Yep.
Wow, what a cute pic! What could possibly be going on?
So the one thing I wanted to kind of step back so that maybe some of those that haven't seen some of the stuff, and we can talk about both the Mentally Advanced series as well as the Rainbow Dash Presents. And I know a lot more about the Rainbow Dash Presents just because, that was kind of my first introduction. But the basis is that you take what is usually some form of like really dark, grimdark, insidious kind of story, except for the one where you did your own fic.
Yeah.
And you kind of you start telling the story, but then everything starts to venture off as if she read about halfway through and then just kind of went, and I didn't know what happened, so this is what I think happened.
Yeah. This most of the time, like my own fic was one where I ruined my own fic because that made me laugh. But yeah, most of the time what I do is I look for a fic like Cupcakes or just something very dark and where the ponies are all suffering, and I just put my own characters into it, and the characters are kind of like stupid, and people say it's like side belt. Like, like they just like come over to each other's house, and like the whole episode is just them arguing about what to do that day. Because they don't really have a whole lot to do that day. So something terrible happens, like you get Cupcakes, like Pinky is trying to kill Dash, and so Mrs. Cake comes home, because Pinky lives at Sugar Cube Corner, and she tells Pinky, like, what are you doing in the basement? And Pinky says, nothing, I'm doing Pinky things, get off my back. And so Mrs. Cake gets on her case, she's like, you're supposed to be manning the register. And sure enough, they have a big argument about it. So it's kind of that sort of thing, and the way that we kind of got onto doing this was way back, and I should say occasionally this upsets people, so hear me out because there's a story behind it. A while ago when I was on 4chan, someone posted a link to a fic called Rarity's Generous Plan, and it's a rape fic. So don't go looking it up if you don't want to read about the ponies, getting raped. But what happened was it was the Dash section, the Rainbow Dash section of the thing, and it was actually not well. It was not badly written. It was convincing. I mean, like Rainbow Dash was out with the Wonderbolt. She was having fun. I believed the characters and everything like that. And then she goes back though, and the writer kind of just abandons all logic to put Dash in this rape situation. And at the time that I read the fic, I couldn't help thinking about how that would really play out. Like, in reality, you could never get trapped in that sort of situation. And then I started thinking about what would happen if my Dash got trapped in that situation. And I realized that she would probably derail everything. Like, they'd be like, all right, Dash, do you want to make love to Spitfire? And then Dash would be like, oh, yeah, I love Spitfire. Oh, my gosh, you know what else I love? I love, like, broccoli. Do you remember this one time I had broccoli and I get stuck in my teeth? And so she'd, like, tell them about stuff that she ate that day. And the whole fic would just like, devolve. Like, it would be like, there's no sex. Just Rainbow Dash talking about broccoli and the time she ate broccoli.
Yeah, and for instance, like, the entire Cupcake Factory, which is, you know, a very, very grim, dark... Yeah, or Rainbow Factory. Yeah, sorry, I'm mixing two together. That's the one where they make cupcakes out of
they make rainbows out of ponies.
Yeah,
they grind kids into rainbows. And but Dash was in charge of the whole thing, and so I just couldn't help but think, like, wouldn't Rainbow Dash be like one of the last ponies you'd want to trust with a conspiracy? Like, even in the show. And then My Rainbow Dash was even worse. So we just applied My Rainbow Dash to the theory, and it was like Dash had no stomach for it. She was trying to dodge it and, like, circumvent it at every chance. She couldn't handle it. She was not cut out for the job. So it was just one of those things. It was like, in the fic, they're like, Dash got hired because she could do a sonic rainboom. And they were like, oh my god, you can do rainbows. Like, how do you make more? And she didn't know. And they were like, oh, well, could you just maybe, like, grind up kids for us? And she goes, okay. I could do that. And so, I don't know, like, I can't think of the motivation that would encourage you to do that. Like, they must pay you really well, or they have really good health benefits or something.
And like, in some of the weird non sequitur humor, like, Starry's Got Right Up has now the absolutely ridiculous Legend of the Hidden Temple, like, riff that you did.
Oh yeah, because the whole factory layout, like, Scootaloo escapes, but then she can't manage to get out of the freaking building because it's so convoluted. She actually finds a way to a garbage chute that leads directly to the rainbow, like, machine that kills kids. And, like, why would you even need a garbage chute that leads to the rainbow factory kid killer? Because it's not like you're taking kids up to the chute on the second floor to put them into the rainbow machine on the first floor. Like, they're all on the first floor. So it was just so, like, the building layout must have been just so convoluted. I just thought about, like, how would you build a building like that? And I realized it must be like the Legends of the Hidden Temple, where you just, like, it's just like they give this long-winded explanation and the kids just immediately get lost in the temple. There's really, like, they don't pay any attention to what Olmec said.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous on that. So that's why it totally fills in with, like, I anytime it's out there, as said, the humor is completely 100% what I go for, of just complete absurdity. So let's go into a little bit of the workshop, the process. What steps you take when you're actually making the animation, and maybe how over time it seems like the process has gotten better. There's more images and more frames per animation than there was in the beginning. So how do you do things, and then how have they changed over time?
Well, we've all gotten better at our jobs. I've gotten better at voice acting, script writing, music stuff. I mean, it's all just kind of come with practice. But basically the way that it works is I'll sit down and I'll write a script for Rainbow Dash Presents. And I don't always do that with the Mentally Advanced series. A lot of times I'll actually just sit down and shout gibberish at myself until I'm happy with the episode. But with Rainbow Dash Presents, so I'll sit down and I'll write a script. And I'll say, this is kind of what I want the characters to discuss and the arguments I want them to have. And I'll send everyone a copy of the script. And the guys who don't have good microphones will come over at some point, and they'll do their voice acting and whatnot. And once we have a certain amount of voice acting done, I will send off those sound files to PetaRep. And then what PetaRep will do, they'll use the script, and the script will sometimes include visual cues, like I'll write out, like, this is what the characters are doing when Dash is being quiet or when stuff is going on. And then sometimes PetaRep also just makes it up on his own. So it kind of varies. Also, times we'll sit down and we'll sort of discuss, like right now we're going through a musical scene, and so he and I kind of went back and forth, and we were like, do we want this to be... like, do we want this character to throw a dart into somebody's face, or do we want them to throw, like, a skee ball? Or, like, we kind of talk about what would be better and why is it better, and what it is that we want to do. and then he'll kind of animate it from there. And so it also kind of depends a lot on the fact that Petterup's a very creative and talented guy. So he's a major part of this. He actually gets paid 50% of the profits on everything because he's I don't know if I could say what percent of the work that he does, but the art is definitely a lot of work. And also too, I cut him in a lot. When we do the sponsorships, he gets like good portion of the sponsorships and everything because they're getting a look at his art and whatnot. And so he also gets a lot of commissions and everything like that. And we don't take anything from his commissions. But anyway, so Petterup's a big part of it, and but once Petterup kind of gets all the art done and everything, he'll send that back to me. And in the past, what we've done is I've actually edited all his art together into a coherent scene. So I'll kind of put it together. But lately, he's kind of felt like he'll make a scene, and it's sort of hard for him to draw out the scene and then send it to me and then have me put it together in the way that he envisioned, because I'll put timings in different areas than he intended, and it'll still come out okay, but he kind of wants it to be a different way. So for this one, what he's doing is he's taking Adobe After Effects and some other animation programs, and he's actually editing it all together himself, which is part of the reason why I had time to do a new Mentally Advanced series recently, because I'm not editing anymore for the Rainbow Dash Presents. So yeah, but when he sends me back all that stuff, then we go back and we look through and we add in sound effects, background music, and whatnot, which we make with Acid Music Player. And it's a simple program, but you can kind of make your own music based on pre-prepared loops and whatnot. So like I don't really write the music, but I find people who write good music and I kind of mix it. So I mix the music. It's much easier than writing. And so we make background music with that, or we do songs. We've got a song in this upcoming one. And after we get all the sound effects and background music and everything, then we post it to YouTube, and that's the end.
Mm-hmm. And as mentioned, you're doing the next one that you've got up is My Little Dash, correct?
Yeah, that's the one that's coming up. Okay.
And anything? I mean, usually it's going to be the same kind of crazy absurdist humor and everything going with that. So you've got that one. Are there any others that are potentially on the plate that you're thinking about going forward, or is it just kind of like one at a time?
I'm actually thinking about doing Bittersweet after this next one, because one of the things I've done is I've looked up diabetic acid acid ketosis. Ketoacidosis. Thank you. Yeah. Diabetic ketoacidosis. Because that's one of the things that in Bittersweet they have a fic where Pinkie Pie kills herself with diabetic ketoacidosis. And so I looked up some of the effects of diabetic ketoacidosis, and it looks like a terrible way to die. And the worst part too is that these effects evolve over like a 24-hour period. So Dash shows up in the fic as Pinkie is eating too many cookies, and then slaps the last cookie out of her hands, but she's too late. Pinkie is already going to die. And so I kind of looked up how that process would really unfold, and the fact is that Dash would have to be really stupid to let Pinkie not get help in the right amount of time.
So is that going to be the basis? Is her just kind of she'll just sleep it off?
That's gonna be a big part of it. I was thinking of things that we could do is Dash shows up and she's like, "Oh my god, I have to help Pinkie. Who should I call? Oh, I know, my mom will know what to do." And so she'd talk to her mom for the next 6 hours or whatever. And yeah, just get trapped on the phone with her parents and catching up on life in Ponyville and whatnot. And so yeah. But that's what I was thinking about doing. But I guess that fic is actually a multi-part fic, which means that I'll probably just be really. It'll be a really short rendition of that fic if we do it. But
yeah, because pretty much 90% of that fic is just sad fic the whole way around, of just everybody else just being moody and just dealing with it.
Yeah, it's a comfort fic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like some of the other sad fics of Spike is now a massive dragon, and all the other characters,
and the main six are dead.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it's just emotional overload fic.
Yeah.
So
for me, that would just be Spike's big day. I had a happy day today. I didn't have any ponies in my life. I got to do what I wanted to do. I am a dragon.
The end.
I'm gonna go eat some gems.
Short fic. I killed some people. That was cool. I set them on fire. They couldn't stop me. I was a dragon.
LOL what? Just going around like that. All right. Well, let's see. Is there any other? I'm not sure if the chat has any particular questions or if they have anything like that. Definitely go ahead and just pimp out where we can find all of your stuff. As mentioned, dawnsomewhere.com is your website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anywhere else?
Yep. Yeah. No, all our stuff is pretty much there right now. For a while, we didn't have mentally advanced series, but we've added that in. So pretty much most of the stuff. We are missing, like, if you on YouTube, you can look up FimFlamFilosophy, and we have a few things that haven't gone on dawnsomewhere.com, but they're goofy things.
Looks like Tumblr doesn't get used too often. Well, no. You're actually updating pretty often on Tumblr.
More recently, I have been. I did neglect it for a while. It was just where I went to ramble, and in fact, also too, I managed to attract a girl through Tumblr.
Oh, hey!
I can believe this. Yeah, she's one of the voice actors actually for My Little Dashie. I started seeing her after I invited her to do some voices, but she and I just got along really well.
Hey, come over to my house and say some funny lines with me.
No, actually, she's in Denmark.
Oh, well.
So yeah, I got in a plane and I went to go see her. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Big long flight for that one. Okay. That's
yes.
Cool. All right. So let's see. I don't see anything too much over on our side for questions for you. So I think what we should do is we should go ahead and talk about some Scootaloo. How's that sound?
Some Scootaloo.
Yep. Scoota's episode.
The Scootasode.
All right. So let me go to FimWiki. Pull up the information for the latest episode, which was, trying to remember the name,
Sleepless in Ponyville.
Yes,
which didn't actually include Bronyville at all.
There were still maybe like Ponyville as a province, and Ponyville included, the forest, whatever forest they were in, which also happened to be underneath Canterlot.
Yeah. And they were in Ponyville at the very beginning, so. You technically at the very beginning they were in Ponyville, just wasn't particularly sleepless in it. Okay, well let's see. Season number 3 season episode number 6, overall episode number 58. Original air date December 8th, 2012, and written by Corey Powell as Sleepless in Ponyville. Just so you know, it is spoiler time. Anything past this point is pretty much going to be full-on spoiler for today's episode. So if you have not listened to it, or if you've not gone and watched the show, please turn back. The old mare looking for their rusty horseshoe will be coming after you. So make sure that you have properly stopped your recorders. Okay, Sandy, what'd you think of the episode?
For a new writer, the episode was kind of all over the place, but in the end, it ended all right. I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10? All right, pretty decent. Fim, what was your overall feeling on it?
Scootaloo was a football.
Really?
In the end. Yes.
Kicked around and tossed a little bit?
No. Well, I mean, did you, not see her pick Scootaloo up and carry her like a football?
Kind of. Or yeah, like the over her head, just kind of like...
Yeah,
I've already seen pictures of her throwing Scootaloo.
Yeah, like, awesome, we made it to the rainbow first. Ha! Aw. I wasn't even thinking.
And then she spikes her. No!
Oh, darn, I forgot that I'm Rainbow Dash. I can't be trusted with kids.
I forgot that I'm legally not allowed to be around kids. So the overall basis of the episode is Scootaloo wants to impress Dash, but Dash decides that during a camping trip she's going to tell a whole bunch of spooky stories. And whereas Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle have their sisters to rely on as emotional support from Dash's harrowing tales of terror, Scootaloo has no such benefit and ends up frightening herself pretty much all over the place. Oh yeah, and Luna.
Yes, then random Lunas
showed up. But it was, I was talking to you guys earlier, it was like that fic from Joshua Talon's Progress, which I used to read. I think he quit updating it. But he had that in his fic. That was like his headcanon, I guess, was that Luna could appear in dreams. And then sure enough, she appeared in dreams. So...
The moment that we saw that, so it was interesting. They had that first glimpse of Luna just come through the rows, and you're like, that looked a lot like Luna. And then she shows up again. I was just like, oh yeah, Tetra's gonna enjoy this episode.
I thought it was maybe like a creepy thing, like, oh god, Luna, like you're trying
Slendermare.
Yeah. Just like Luna is weird. It just creeps people out. Have you seen the comic where like Twilight is sitting around, like she's like talking to her friends, she's like, so I have to hang out with Luna today, and they're like, well, what's the problem? And she's like, she creeps me right the hell out, and they're like, oh, just give her a chance. And so like Luna is sitting behind her in her study, and it's just like dead silence for a while, and then Luna goes, do you ever wonder what it would feel like to have a knife jammed through your eye? And that's just like the end of the comic. It's just like
there's a reason we sent this one to the moon.
Yeah, Luna is weird. So I just kind of thought, like, when I first saw Luna, I just like went with it. I was like, yeah, Luna's weird. So she's a creepy element to any dream.
So
and they didn't go with they put a lot of effort into the backgrounds on this episode too. They reused like the scary trees, but they had like the Olden Mare or whatever the Rusty Horseshoe one was called. She was suitably creepy without being actually scary for children. Then they had like the headless horse thing. Then Luna shows up. Oh, and Luna talks like a normal pony. So there goes that headcanon. Apparently she got hooked on phonics in the intervening time between season 2 and 3.
For a year, nobody taught her that people weren't shouting at ponies.
And
like they're just like, oh yeah.
Well, if you follow the gamer Luna headcanon, it was totally fine because she was just on Xbox, just screaming at people all the time.
Ponies don't have Xbox. They don't have Microsoft. They would play, I don't even know what.
Yeah, but Scootaloo herself got a bit more characterization in this episode. But one thing that we still haven't seen at all in the entire series, as far as I can tell, is a Pegasus parent. We haven't seen Fluttershy's parents. We haven't seen Dash's parents. Scootaloo has been this question. We're like, haha, she's getting an episode, and we'll find out about her family, if she has a family. And apparently they don't. And apparently, the Greek stylings of the ponies, Pegasus ponies, extends to the fact that they do mentorships and stuff like that. So it's one of those, that's kind of neat.
So it's
Weren't they?
Or go ahead.
Oh, I thought they were going. I was going to say, I thought they were more Spartan than anything.
They're a bit of both. Where it's kind of been my headcanon that the Pegasus ponies, everyone's sort of raised collectively, and their loyalty is to the state and not to blood, and that kind of makes things wibbly wobbly under Celestia's rule. But even then, it's still sort of how things go in Cloudsdale. I don't know.
Thinking really hard about horses.
Yeah. Well, it would explain why we haven't seen Pegasus parents.
Yeah, because they're not a big deal. They're like the kids are taken away, and they're raised to be, I don't know, weather teams. Would have been soldiers back in the day, but not anymore. All their enemies are dead.
We've seen, brothers and siblings. Thunderlane has his brother Rumble in Hurricane Fluttershy, but no parents. No parents anywhere. So, there we go. That's my little thoughts.
Mrs. Cake has a kid who's a Pegasus.
But she is not she is an Earth Pony, and they have their own structure.
Yeah, that was some wibbly wobbly genetics that made that one happen.
Yeah,
that was some wibbly wobbly Mrs. Cake action right there.
But I'm gonna guess that if they're a quote unquote pure Pegasus from a Pegasus bloodline living in Cloudsdale, they probably have a very different home life than, say, an Earth Pony or a Pegasus born to Earth Ponies.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Well, let's move it back just a little bit. So, the big basis on the episode, if we want to kind of look, I mean, it was it was a basic kind of episode of like, hey, you're kind of afraid of. In the end, the episode kind of dealt with what Scootaloo's fears were, but I'm not entirely sure it really dealt with them. You know, it's kind of like the thing of like, well, what's your fear? Well, my fear is actually it was less that she had these fear of, you know, of these nightmares. It was more just a fear of rejection, of just like, hey, I really kind of want this. You know, this has kind of been, truthfully, it's kind of been 3 seasons in the making of, hey, I really could use somebody to help me out because I'm kind of not able to do it, and everybody else has a support system for what it seems. I kind of could use some help. Last season with the entire, like, Dash fan club, it seemed like we were getting there, but Dash being the usual, you know, either Dash that she is. Dash being Dash herself, yeah. Without mincing my words a little bit. You know, just kind of ignored it for all intents and purposes. And I was kind of saying earlier in the show, I would, since they're doing better about continuity and kind of adding these things, since the next episode is going to be Dash-centric, I'm kind of interested to see if we're going to see more interactions between Scootaloo and Dash because of this.
I would like I would like to see that. I would like to see Rainbow Dash functioning as a mentor / big sister for Scootaloo, because yeah, you know, she's been getting the short end of the stick for 2 seasons now, since, you know, Apple Women, Applejack, and Rarity and Sweetie Belle, they had episodes together. Scootaloo, no episodes.
We know what the problem is, though, is that Dash and Scootaloo kind of have that bully and lackey sort of thing. Like, you know, like Scootaloo is like, oh, I'm going to run ahead, and Dash is like, why? I don't care about the dark. Scootaloo goes, oh, you know, I don't want to scare the babies, and Dash is like, oh yeah, the babies. You know, they're just kind of, I don't know, like Dash is really insecure, and then Scootaloo looks up to her, but she's also kind of insecure. So Dash isn't really a good role model. She's kind of, she's not like a bad bully, but she is sometimes. So when it comes to, like, I don't know, someone smaller than her, someone weaker than her, looking up to her, I just don't see it as being a really positive influence. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why I think that I'm hoping that the next episode, you know, my headcanon, my hope of what it would be something where it's like Dash is trying to gear up for, you know, well, close your ears if you don't want any information about some of what's going to happen next episode. La 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 la, this will just take 15 seconds. But, you know, that it's the Wonderbolt Academy, and I'm kind of hoping that, you know, she's going to be like, I'm having some trouble with this, but she learns to deal with that by, you know, teaching through example. You know, just like, hey, come on, kid, let's try this. You know, I think that could be really, really awesome.
See, but status quo is king, though. So Dash she'll never really grow up. I don't think that she'll ever really become a completely different character. Or if she does, it'll be kind of like after a long period of I don't know, just like slowly developing into this until the fans kind of accept that she's just this different way. For the longest time, I think she's just going to be kind of, people complain she's sort of a jerk. She's kind of insensitive. She's not very emotionally secure. And I don't know, they're just the qualities of a bully. They're just the people who kind of, they try to tear other people down because they don't feel strong themselves. You know, it's unfair. It's not like Dash is a bad character. I really like Dash, but I don't know. She's one of the characters who just has less confidence than all the others.
Yeah, the Little Ribbon actually has a really good... Dash is a bit brash, ambitious, and pushes ponies out of their comfort zone, which can be written positively or negatively. You know, I think when Sandy came back, he was like, I thought this was good. Dash was pretty good this episode. I was like, Dash was good this episode? I thought she was still kind of a jerk.
But she wasn't as much of a jerk as she's been written in a couple other episodes.
Yeah, this season has been the season of, oh, Dash is your favorite character because of how awesome she is. Look how much of a jerk she actually is.
Too bad.
No.
It's like...
I totally relate to Dash. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, like, you know, how our actions in Too Many Pinkie Pies and such have been. And getting all up in the Crystal Pony's grill during the opener and all that.
No. See, I was going to say, I relate to Dash because back when I was in high school, I used to be really into combat sports. And I got so into it that I actually forgot that other people I knew were not, like they didn't love combat sports like I did. And so I had some friendships that were based almost on just like weird violence and whatnot. Like I had this guy Mike who I was friends with, and every time he saw me in the halls, he would run up and like try to punch me in the stomach before I saw him coming. This is like, fucking Mike, I will get you. But some people though, they just didn't like it, and it never really clicked with me. You know that they just didn't like being I don't know, drug into altercations that were pointless and just like displays of physical violence. And Dash, I think, is kind of that same way. She just wants to compete, and she just loves competition, but she forgets that other ponies don't really love to compete the way that she does. They don't all care about how fast Dash is or whatnot. And just you forget that. Like you sort of think about like, this makes me so happy, and you bring that to other people, and you forget like, oh, this doesn't make everybody happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I will say that overall, I think it's interesting, this particular case, because it actually, like, the more and more that this happens, the more I actually believe that it like fleshes out Dash even more, because it's she is very much, she's very well, maybe not polarizing is the right word, but she is kind of coming into her own as a character a bit more, at least for me, where before it was just like, yeah, I'm this awesome character, look how cool I am, I'm a little brash, but now she gets to the point where it's like too brash, and I kind of like the fact now that's happening, because before it was kind of like, I'm kind of a jerk, but I like the hard swing where it's like she's 100% invested in just being as good as she can be, and then she has to flip a switch and go, oh, hold on, I gotta, like in the scene where she's trying to condone Scootaloo, like it's a hard swing where she goes like, I just saved you, I just did all this stuff, what the heck, why did you do that? And Scootaloo just has to break it down, and Rainbow Dash has to flip the switch and go, all right, this, okay, let me take it like this.
Yeah. Well, it's when she realizes that she's being too hard, or like they had the scene where Fluttershy was in the jousting contest, and she's like, Dash, you're hitting too hard, and so Dash is like, like this is a competition, you should compete, but I won't hit you as hard. It's kind of one of those things, like she has a hard time fighting herself, but she sometimes realizes that she's too much. She's too rough with the other ponies.
Mm-hmm. Feather Prop stating, notice that she didn't brag at all when she saved Scoots. She wasn't trying to boast around a whole bunch on that. Let's see. Moving. I mean, well, let's see what kind of stuff. I thought that the visuals for the episode and all the nightmare stuff was friggin' great. Like those were all some of their. I mean, yeah, reuse of the assets, especially with the crazy teethy trees.
I didn't even think that was like bad reuse. It was an effective reuse. It was like, holy crap, we're in a nightmare sequence now. What's going on?
They kept the giggle at the ghosties thing going too, though. Like when she backed up into the tree and it broke, and she's just like, oh. The trees weren't creepy anymore.
Mm-hmm. So she made that cute little horse noise, and then like when she's running, her wings are flapping super hard and do a little buzz noise, but she's not flying. Oh, Scootaloo, you poor thing.
Instinct.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of neat the transition that they moved of just like the first transition into the nightmare where it was just like her head hit the pillow, she popped back up, she looked outside, and the world was just completely just darkmare mode.
Yeah, and there was another thing they did, like the transition between when Sweetie Belle was asking Rarity to go camping, she's like, Rarity loves camping, and then like immediately transitions to the next scene where Rarity's like, I hate camping. It's all that nature. So that was the transitions were pretty good too.
I feel like Rarity. I used to like the road trips to go camping, but then I hated the actual camping itself. I remember once we went camping when I was a kid, and they had these gigantic beetles, and they were tough. Like, they were the toughest beetles I'd ever seen. Like, I had a fly swatter, and the beetles just, like, didn't care, so I got a hammer. And then whenever, they were just, like, giant. They were, like, cockroach-sized beetles, and they could fly. And so whenever the beetles landed somewhere in camp, I got the hammer and I smashed them. Because they just freaked me out. They were so big.
But I'm sure
they were terrifying.
And I'm sure there was a bajillion of them.
They were everywhere. I couldn't win.
The swarm. Swarm around you.
They didn't even care about people. They would just land on you.
They had no. They were uncivilized beetles.
They had no fear. They knew that they would win by a battle of attrition. I would get tired and starve.
They would take and take and take. They would ride upon our planes and assault our carriages with their beetleness.
God, it's like land on the outside of your tent and you could see their horrible little outlines. And the only way you could stop them was with the hammer.
Waiting for you.
Waiting for me to come outside so they could land on my chest.
And ride around. They were lazy beetles.
Lazy beetles.
And then you unzip and there's just a 3-foot mound of them all staring and just going, soon you.
They were scouts. If I didn't kill them, they would report back to the others that we were weak and willing to give in.
We have heard that they are eating s'mores. They are easy to handle.
They're soft.
But one of them was distracted with an iPad. They can be taken with ease. No.
This is when I was younger. This was before iPads. So yeah, I had like card games. I remember I was just like playing poker with my sister. She didn't know how to play. I was like, no, this is how you play.
Like no. You wanna draw. You wanna hit. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, Royal Flush? No. That's a losing hand.
Yeah. Pass that one up. Give me your $5.
Yeah. Give me $5.
Yeah.
You lost. Yeah. No.
So I got them in all one color. Yeah. No.
No. That's a losing hand. Yeah. You want like I'm 7 high. That's really unlikely. So I win. That's as good as it gets.
So let's see the other bits of the episode. Applejack and Apple Bloom were kind of standard, but the points where they kind of popped up, they were pretty good for the episode. I thought do you have your canteen and everything was kind of neat with just the flipping everything out of their packs and just like, yep, I got everything.
I did think that the fact that their saddlebags had upgraded to saddle backpacks was kind of amusing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was some that was just kind of nice. The entire like Rarity and Sweetie Belle interaction was, I think, probably like it did upstage Applejack and Apple Bloom, where it's just like the constant the knowing and constant abuse of Sweetie Belle, and Sweetie Belle just like, hey, I get to spend time with my sister. I mean, it's kind of sweet. Well, it's knowingly sweet abuse at this point.
You know, I thought was cute though was that Rarity really did go. She went camping for her sister. You know, it was like her sister wanted to hang out with her friends, and Rarity really hated camping. And sure, she abused Sweetie Belle for it, but at least she went though, so that Sweetie Belle would have supervision and her parents would be okay with it. That was a very sweet thing to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know that aspect.
You know,
I don't know.
Aside from the entire forcing her to lug a bajillion pieces of luggage,
but Sweetie Belle is strong. She was able to like carry that entire pack,
and she didn't argue. And she didn't argue one bit because she was just like, "This is how it goes. This is how life is."
Do you guys have you ever read Gavalanche's comics? The one where like Rarity keeps her trapped in the cupboard.
No, I haven't read that one.
Those crack me up. Like it's like Sweetie Belle is Rarity's daughter in these things, and so she keeps her just like in the cupboard. and the one like the premise before that is like she gives birth to a little baby, and she's like, Mom and Dad, you have to claim
dark places.
It is really dark, but I kind of like the dark humor. It's why I convert all the dark fics into silly things. But yeah, no. She's like, Mom and Dad, you have to claim that this baby is your own. And then their mom is like, she's like, no, like I'm a white pony. Your father's a white pony. No one's gonna believe that your gray daughter is our daughter. And so then Rarity gets like bleach, and she bleaches, she bleaches Sweetie Belle white. Yeah, it's so dark, but it's like it's kind of adorable and just silly and hilarious. And I don't know, but it's all kind of like just Sweetie Belle abuse, and I don't know.
It's bizarrety.
Goodness.
So
it cracks me up. I don't know what to say. I'm a sick individual.
Yes. So we're gonna move on.
I love the cuteness, but then I also just love the horrible dark stuff that gets applied to the cuteness sometimes.
Yeah. So just to wrap this up before we go ahead and move and hit the email. I don't know. I thought it was overall a good episode, and as stated, it was nice to see some further exposition with Luna, and finally progress some stuff with Scootaloo, because nothing had been done with her for 3 seasons. So that was a good kind of a change on that. And besides that takes care of Sleepless in Ponyville. Next episode, Wonderbolt Academy. I'm sure Sandy will be here for that.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll be happy to see episode of his favorite Blue Mare.
Yep, we will see how it goes.
Yep, Speedy McBlue Mare. All right, well, let's go ahead and move forward. It's time to go ahead and hit some emails. You can always send emails across to us at bronyville@gmail.com, and we will pick them up and put them on the show. I will get second. Sandy will get... I will get first, Sandy will get second, and Fim, if you would be interested in getting thirds, I will do a quick highlight so that you can see those on the Google document, if you have it up.
Sure.
All right.
Actually, I'm going to use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll keep on reading emails.
Soldier on.
Okay, all right.
All right. Starting off, Dear Ciderlicious, Sandylicious, Starrylicious, and Guestalicious. First of all, thank you very much for reading this letter. You've read one of mine on the air, and I squealed like a little filly when I heard it. I thought this was a very good episode today. As much as I like the CMCs, I don't always like their episodes, but I probably enjoyed about half of them. As disappointing as I was that we didn't meet Scootaloo's family, I was more than compensated by the appearance of my favorite pony, Princess of the Night, now revealed as Princess of Dreams, Princess Luna.
Luna!
as
Everyone has to go in the chat and type in Luna!
Tetra has to do it about 8 times. I'm praying and hoping that among the multitude of Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash fan art that we can expect this week, there will be a few pictures of Princess of Dreams. Does anyone think that Rainbow Dash could have written a letter this week, or Applejack could have written one after Bab's Seed? Or do you think they've abandoned this as a plot device? Your faithful listener, High Stream, what the heck are you doing, Chef?
Making the chat dance?
Yes, you are. You keep highlighting stuff on the dock, and I'm just like, distracting.
Oh, no, I'm just like, I'm playing with the... I'm making things highlight. Oh, God, what'd I do?
Yeah, just calm down there. Highlight
I'll stop. So, actually, yeah, when it comes down to the letters, they're kind of not doing them.
Last season was the now you all can do them, and now it is simply just Celestia just we missed that after the Crystal Kingdom is just like, do you want me to write this up, Princess? Just forget it. Can you, like, Twilight, I got something to tell you. I have a stack of those, and I get to them when I get to them. Or maybe one too many times she sent a note and Spike just got a automated reply back of, we have received your friendship request. We will reply to it in 20 days' time.
But yeah, you're right. When it comes to the letters, they haven't written any this season, I don't think.
I don't think they wrote one earlier in the season.
Well, it could be as part of Twilight's advanced studies. That's like, all right, we're keeping an eye on you. You'll have your challenges, but we don't really need these anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
you should write them to yourself as a sort of a note, but you don't have to send them to me.
Well, and we were kind of criticizing the first season that every episode had to end with Twilight popping up and going like, "So you learned something? Sweet. Okay. Let me get a notepad." Like, everything had to end that way, and even in the second season, a lot of it was just kind of like. We criticized the Super Cider Squeezy episode because the motto was just kind of like, "I was always right, nee.
Yeah, but I mean, even then they lampshaded it with Lesson 0. They're like, "Oh no, I didn't learn anything this week. I've got to pull a letter out my butt." So I guess they're moving away from that for the season.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I always wondered why she didn't just pull a letter out of her butt, though. I mean, like, any academic student probably knows how to write a letter from your butt. Like, it's one of the most important things to getting through school.
It's just like, "Dear Princess Celestia, this week I decided that I like having friends. Sincerely, Twilight Sparkle."
No, you write pages upon pages of just, like, purple prose. And it's so boring and so stupid. And you, like, use a few key terms, you kind of highlight...
It's TLDR even for an immortal god princess.
Yeah,
she's like, yeah, thanks, Twilight. And she throws it behind the throne to the pile of other ones.
Yeah, she's like, good work, A+. You totally captured what I was trying to teach.
Yeah, thank you for... I understand that I asked for 12-point font and you used 13, and it seems that you've resized your periods to get some extra space. I also noticed that you changed the indentions on your...
It's like, your tabs are really close together.
Yeah.
It's like 5 words across and there's a new line.
It's kind of interesting. It just seems like, did you add extra spacing between the letters? That's, 372-point commas. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I it always was a little weird just ending the episode with kind of one of these jarring, "Hey, this is what you should take from this."
Comics, ooh. It's like, dear Twilight, you used Comic Sans in this last letter. Do that again and you're going to the moon. Alright, so there we go. Next email.
Sandy Face, hit it.
Dear Apple Cider Chef Sandy and assorted guests. We opened the variety pack this week and got FimFlamFilosophy. Sleepless in Ponyville presented what was a prime opportunity to discern whether or not Scootaloo is an orphan. We can surmise that she does not have an older sister, let alone an older sibling. Never did any of her episodes of blind panic did she cry out for a parent, nor did we get a single scene of where she lives. With this knowledge, we can surmise that if Studio B DHX was going to show Scootaloo's parents, it would have been this episode. But what can we take from this? That the smart bits are on Scootaloo being an orphan. Overthinking this as always, your faithful listener, Feathers the Griffin. A.k.a. the guy who sounds like George Takei calling into Last Exit to Ponyville. P.S. Fluttershy is best pony, and Scootaloo is still best CMC.
Well, we said the same thing about Rarity. Or Rarity and Sweetie Belle.
Well, everybody's parents are dead. Everybody's parents are dead until we meet them.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Applejack's family is still... Parents are kind of still question mark.
Applejack's parents are dead, but she has her brother and Granny Smith.
I don't think the smart bits are on Scootaloo being an orphan. I think the hilarious bits are on Scootaloo being an orphan.
But with the Apple family reunion, there could be Applejack family. And then that still leaves the Pegasus ponies with no parents.
They don't need parents, they have the state.
What kind of, like, ridiculous, like, if Rainbow Dash, if they suddenly just threw in a Dash parent, and there's that picture going around of, like, the really long, like, flowing rainbow mane, mom pony. What if, like, Rainbow Dash's mom was just, like, this abhorrible kind of, like, hippie-style character of just, like, "Oh, Rainbow Dash, love child, how are you?" Oh,
that's what I hope for.
It's been so... And she's just like, "Oh, it's my mom."
Hi, Mom. This is my mom. She believes in feminism, and that's pretty much it.
Rainbow Dash's parents need to be voiced by George Takei and Ellen DeGeneres. Just put it out there.
If only. I wish I could get those voice actors.
That would be so. Oh, hi, Rainbow Dash. It's so good to see you. He's like,
Oh, hello there, Rainbow Dash.
oh, so anyway, I have some really great stuff that we should talk about. It'll be great. Just Rainbow Dash just rolling around, just like, oh.
Mom, you're making me look lame. All my friends say they think that I'm a hippie.
Wait, hold on.
I gotta dance.
Oh, hold on. But except trying to do Ellen DeGeneres is hard, so I'm just going to come up with some ridiculous female voice. Oh, you look so... Let me get your... I have the greatest little bonnet I found for you.
She doesn't sound anything
Mom.
like that.
I'll wear this all the time. No, one thing that me and Petter have decided is that Rainbow Dash's dad has a rainbow mustache. Actually, he's got like rainbow mutton chop.
Nice.
And I really hope if they ever show Rainbow Dash's dad that he's got a rainbow mustache. It's just one of those things. Like, it's too awesome. I gotta have it.
Oh my.
And then George...
So...
voiced by George Takei. All right, let's see.
It's your turn.
It could be. Yes, Fim, there you go. There's your selection on the dock. I have highlighted it for you.
Okay, somebody wanted me to do it in a voice, and I like Rainbow Dash, so that is how we would. I was just emailing to make a couple comments about last week's episode, Magic Duel. First of all, I noticed that in listening to this week's podcast, none of you mentioned what was possibly my favorite part of the episode: the fact that they finally started to make Zecora a second mentor to Twilight. What that was Lawrence Post's original idea for Zecora in the first place. Also, I realized after watching the episode a couple times that the colors and design of the Alicorn amulet seem to be very similar to the colors and design of King Sombra. I'm not sure if this is just a coincidence. Bronies are notorious for overanalyzing, but Megan McCarthy did say that she had big plans for this season, and I've included reference pictures for you guys to take a look at yourselves. Anyway, I'm off to watch this week's episode. Skidaloo's best CMC. Brohoof to the greater power, to the power of 3, to the power of Brohoof. Sincerely, a classy pony.
Never gets old.
Yes, so we have the power of Brohoof.
So yeah, well, Zecora, and again, Saddle Arabia, Celestia was out there and apparently out of range. They apparently have some crappy dragon reception in Saddle Arabia. So she had to like, all right, who else could I go to? Not Luna.
See, so the thing is though, is Equestria not unified? I mean, like, I always like to imagine that they had a great war of unification that involved Yuna and Celestia, where they went around and they blew up all their opposition and then unified all of the ponies under one country.
But they're more horses because they don't have marks.
Yeah.
Did they not?
They didn't have marks, no.
They're horses, and they are, like, totally not the ponies that Celestia rules over.
Yeah.
Apparently, oh no, Equestria has an energy crisis, and those dang Saddle Arabians don't want to sell us their sweet, sweet oil.
Their opaque oil.
They're in league with the Griffins.
Oh man.
Not that the Griffins had any energy solutions. Wind power, maybe.
But
that's only valuable in areas with a lot of land.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, what they mentioned that Zecora was kind of like a de facto second mentor for Twilight. I mean, it's kind of been that way sometimes. It definitely did pop up more in the Magic Duel. But how much can you do it without it being weird? Or how much could you do it without it just being like, it being like, oh no, Zecora is now my mentor. I just kind of secondarily send these notes to White Pony.
It's going to be silly for me when she goes to learn from Zecora, and I've got Zecora casted as completely, like, not even mentally capable.
Having to put those together.
Yeah, just like, I need your advice, Zecora. Get naked. Shut up. I need real advice.
Let's see, as for the Sombra, as the amulet, yeah, it very well could be Sombra. I mean, as said, we mentioned before that when there was the explosion and the horn, like, the horn flew away. Yeah, who knows? A lot of weird, crazy shadow stuff could be going on. I mean, heck, there's Luna's doing stuff. She has mystery book and everything. Who knows how this is all going to turn out for the rest of the season. So there's all sorts of crazy it could be. Anything else? I think that handles that one pretty good.
Yep.
All right, let me do this.
I just make it up as I see it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, my turn. Hello there, Sidra de Manzana, Chef Arizna. Oh, God.
Don't, AC, just stop. Just.
Noche Estrada and Invirados. Oh, man, I'm bad at this. That's Apple Cider, Chef Sandy, Starry Night, and guests in Spanish, respectively. I was watching a video on my YouTube subscriptions the other day. It was a review of the latest MLP episode Magic Duel, in which they talked about all aspects and the things they liked and disliked about it. I had no problem with the review until they started to nitpick about Trixie's magical cursor and recycle bin spell. They spent about 5 minutes considering if Equestria does have computer software and whether it's Mac or Windows. I wouldn't have a problem with it if it wasn't because the reviewer sounded serious. It sounded like they really were trying to find logic in a cartoon starring unicorns and Pegasi that live in a town called Ponyville. Things don't get any better when they're brought up when they brought up other aspects like Trixie's punishment in the end, or the trick to make Applejack look like a stallion was a direct fan service nod to the Bronies. As you can tell, I'm not saying what podcast this is from, but you should know that it is quite a popular one that many people follow. I don't think overanalyzing a children's cartoon is a good thing. I don't think that overanalyzing is a good idea at all. Overanalyzing should only be reserved for science fiction and David Lynch movies. When you overanalyze something, you're not being smart or curious, you're making yourself look quite foolish, unless you're making it with the intention to make a joke, which the hosts of this podcast were clearly not. I just felt like sharing this with you guys since you have always defended the simplicity and sincerity of the series. It's a show, it's a cartoon, it's very fun to watch. Don't read more into it. What they show you is what there is. There's no meaning, no hidden meaning or la-di-lu-li-lo involved. Other than that, there's a bunch of my thanks for picking my call last Saturday. It was awesome chatting with you. And to Starry, thanks for liking my accent. I hope you guys are doing okay and wish you the best from snowy Scotland, James Cork.
Yep. So
it's fun to nitpick, but yeah, you can nitpick hard.
Yeah, you have to come at it with a amused tack. You're not like, oh man, what program did they use? Was it Pixelmator? Oh gosh, was it Flash? Flash, what version of it? Oh my god, that's silly.
So when Luna enters someone's consciousness in a dream, can she do this with everyone's dream, or is it one at a time, or
is it only for kids?
If you sleep during the daytime, can she reach you there, or is it simply during the night?
Oh, I don't know. And when the headless horse happened in the dream, was that her? Or just a projection?
Why doesn't she stamp out all bad dreams? Why are you not helping us, Luna? We could have no more nightmares if you would just step it up.
Also, I hate the fact that that the word fan service has been brought into the Brony lexicon. It's not fan service.
Just enjoy your dumb kids cartoon.
Enjoy your cartoon, and any nods that they do, but these shows have such a long tail on them, as evidenced by the fact the last 2 episodes were put in for consideration back in 2011.
They do it because they think we're funny.
They do it because it's funny, and the whole Applejack into a Stallion, no, that's not fan service. Even if Rule 63 is fun to write stories about, they're not doing it for us.
It's totally fan service, but they do it because they think it's funny.
Yeah,
it's not, these are just people. Like, just enjoy your cartoon. It's funny. That's what I think. It drives me nuts. A little
kid that's the actual target audience goes, they changed her into a boy. Whereas people like us go, oh my god, this kind of magic spell. Quick, for everybody to the fanfic machine.
Quick, post on fanfiction.
Meanwhile, after Magic Duel, Twilight Sparkle actually starts to look at the spells that she supposedly was working on, and then, because it always happens, she ends up miscasting a spell, and all of her friends are now dudes. and now she is trying to figure out which one she likes the most, because that's what happens in stories.
It gives me material to work with. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. I don't care as long as it's entertaining. Like I don't care. They're colorful, they're fun, they're cute, whatever. That's all that I care about.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it is fun sometimes to overanalyze, but it's always good to make that and then also make a nod of the absurdity of overanalyzing. This is not a show with Lost. We're not trying to crunch numbers, and even in the end of Lost, it was kind of a futile cause.
But AC.
Yes.
Epileptic trees.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Epileptic trees, don't you know?
Oh,
the trees were shaking.
What about the fact that I heard what's that new thing recently of like the I'm trying to recall, but 4chan's going crazy about it with the idea that is it like Plinko or something? The idea where you can generate a creature or
a tulpa.
Tulpa, yeah, those things that have been going around.
Yeah. That's just weird. I don't pay attention to those at all. No.
They don't respond to trolling very well. I've tried. I'm like, why? And they're like, shut up. I'm like, no, tell me.
So it's like we can will them into existence if we try hard enough. Like, what? Huh?
Yeah. The tulpas are strange. Like the tulpa threads where they're like, no, I really believe that the characters are there. And I guess you could habitually just imagine yourself an imaginary friend, but I don't know. Yeah. I like someone did a comic once though where they were like they're like I imagined up a Fluttershy tulpa, and then like Fluttershy's kind of hanging around. She's like, hey, my life is happy, and then he puts her in the closet. And he imagines up like a Scootaloo tulpa or something like that, and then later on like he rapes the Scootaloo tulpa and kills it. And then he gets out. And then he gets out the Fluttershy tulpa. And he's like, "Oh, you can come back." See, but then the tulpa rises up and kills him. And after that, they start a tulpa support group where they're like, "You are an abused tulpa. Come join us and help us liberate other tulpas." It was just like one of those things. It was just strange. It's like it's all sort of a weird kind of setting. And so I don't know. Like I said, I get into the dark. I get into like the dark stuff, but always for reasons that don't make sense. It's because it just cracks me up when they're like little marshmallow ponies. They're just like so happy, and then just like weird horrible things happen to them, and then they just deal with it though. They're like in their childish understanding of the world.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
The end product is Rainbow Dash Presents. If that gives you any perspective on why I love the dark stuff so much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's like. Yeah, you start off into the dark stuff, and then it just kind of becomes hilarious when you think about it. You're like, it's dark for just the stupidest reasons.
Yeah, it is this kind of the weirdness and the absurdity of that. So, yeah, just dark for unnecessary reasons. So,
yeah. And the tulpas are kind of the same thing. As people just kind of create the tulpas, and the tulpas are whatever they want them to be, whether it's logical or not. They just kind of have these emotional desires, and so you get the things with the tulpas. They're like, I really want to have sex with the tulpa, and then I kill the tulpa, and then it's sort of like, why?
So,
okay.
Hey, look, a moose.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the next email now.
Aww.
All right, so Sandy, I believe it's yours?
Yes, it is. Greetings, Captain Cider, First of Sandy, Commodore Knight, and whatever guest you managed to get on board this week. I salute you from the coast of the Gulf of Mexico, half because I live nearby and half because I got myself lost around here. With the new wave of fresh pony on weekends and such since the imminent, soon hopefully release with its double Sonic Rainboom fan banana, got me wondering during my travels as my job demands it. I'm kind of an errant judge of the law system in my country. Anyways, I'm going off topic here, as I was saying, due to the season release. And you're professional, as professional the fan base could be, how close do you think we are to the episode we've been asking for since Season 1? You know, the whole 26 short stories over Ponyville kind of episode with all the background characters having their proverbial time in the sun. For what I've read and heard, writers of the show won't go there since fan and characters are that, fan and created and such with raised talent like for likes of Mr. Flamingo, Aztec Crusaders, Black Griffin, Alpha 995, and so many other talented animators out there. Within the community, voice actors and actresses, musicians and artists, we have the horsepower, to put said fan episode in motion. But again, in your opinion, how plausible does it to you? So it's likely the Ajax might not tackle something like that. Thanks for indulging my question from somewhere on the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. Wish you the best of luck, all your kindness, sporadic listener. I'm not faithful since I listen whenever I can. Master Spectre. P.S. Luna's best pony. I mean, come on, Twilight's magic plus Rainbow Flight. Her color is a midterm between the two of them. Adorable and powerful. I mean, you two settle down and just accept Luna for what she is. Best pony. By the way, Tetra was right from the start.
Luna.
I'd like it, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the fact. Let's look at the history. We all exploded when Derpy talked. Imagine the. That's not the right voice for Lyra. Rah. She's not talking about hands. Rah. You know, I think it's good that they keep some of that fannin because if things aren't sometimes if things are not exactly the way that we have built it, you know, they're not reading fic, and they're not, you know, the creative team isn't completely like in on all the weird jokes. So if we got something wrong, they would just be like, no, dumb, you know. So let's just, you know, we have all of our weird backstory and stuff like that, and we can kind of keep it that way. Yeah, I think that's a good bit on the good piece of that.
You know, I think the problem is that the fandom has gotten kind of where when it first started off, they were very open to a lot of things. They would just kind of interpret stuff. You know, like you saw Lyra and Bonbon in the background, you were like, oh, what are they in the background so often together for? And they made up fanon for it. It was like, they're in love, and Bonbon has a feeding fetish, and Lyra loves humans, and everything else. And sometime around season 2, though, like, it was like Luna showed up, and it was like, oh, all our fanon is defeated, and no one made new fanon. It was just like, that was the end of it. It was what the show says is what the show says. And that was a disappointing time for me. Because I really kind of enjoyed the days when like Luna could have shown up and she was just stupid and insecure and she shouted at everyone. And there's a lot you could say about a leader based on those qualities, but no one really talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of built up exactly what we're you know, our particular background of what characters are like, you know, from you know, inconsequential characters that just popped up once or twice to, you know, ones that are completely, you know, we've just kind of constructed a whole bunch of background for stuff that really isn't there at all. And there's no way that, you know, if they do something, and I mean, the whole Derpy thing was a perfect example of, you know, if something kind of rattles against what people believe, then oh no, and, you know, once bitten, twice shy. So. All right, well, let's go ahead.
Frogurt is the worst fake Chinese secret seller.
Yep. All right, well, let's go ahead and move forward. Let's start wrapping up these pieces here. We got the 5-star iTunes Baronis. These are the individuals out there that have went and gave us reviews on iTunes, and these are particularly the ones that have given iTunes reviews on the U.S. store.
Oh my God, Lubu!
Yep.
Do not pursue.
You cannot fathom the true form of his attack.
I love him. He is my favorite person.
So, oh, hey.
I guess you guys didn't play Dynasty Warriors 3.
I didn't play that one. No.
You didn't? No. He was great. He showed up with, like, peacock feathers in his hair. And they were like, do not pursue Lubu.
Well, I will tell you what. Go ahead and read the, I see the offerings here. You want to go ahead and read those out, Fim? Since you got some fun that you can do with the names.
Okay, where is this?
Just the 5-star iTunes. I've highlighted it a little bit further down there.
Okay, we've got Brady Gall, Fibbleron Brony, Frothy Mocha, Lubu Do Not Pursue, Aura Sparkle, and the One Gale.
Yes,
I don't know. Is that all you were looking for?
No, that's totally fine.
Yes.
And those are the reviewers this week. So thank you very much. As remember, reviewing us on iTunes keeps us up there. We are, I believe, still at this point defeating Kevin Smith's evil scourge of podcasts.
Who is Kevin Smith?
Did like Clerks and a whole bunch of other movies. Now just does a whole bunch of podcasts.
Oh,
yeah, that big guy has a Fat Man on Batman show and things.
You're defeating him?
Yeah, we're above him in the ratings.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we've got like nearly 800 ratings on iTunes, and like all of them 5 stars.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous on that. So thank you all for reviewing on that. Donators, go ahead and we want to go ahead and thank E. Leinertson, K. Anderson, F. Martin, A. Harlow, and D. DeVore for helping us and donating across to the site. All of your additions to our bank funds allow us to get to conventions, do shows, do lots of silliness out here, and just go ahead and produce high content for you for the show. And with that, we are in one cool thing territory. Fim, I will go ahead and remind you that we'll stall you a little bit because you need the link for a cool thing. I warned you before, but we'll hit this. Don't worry. I'll do this. My one cool thing is the magic tool animation. I was kind of strained and stressed just a little bit to find something that was exactly what I kind of wanted for this week. So I found this. It's a little short animation based off of the magic duel that kind of illustrates the point where Pinky loses her mouth and then kind of goes a little Pinkamena crazy face at the end for not having a mouth. I just thought it was something kind of weird and kind of quirky. It's not particularly dark. But you can just go ahead and check that out. The link is in the show notes. You can find the show notes over at BronyvillePodcast.com. And it's just a little short, like 20-second animation. So go check that out. Sandy?
Mine this week is a goofy little parody song called Sombra, which is a takeoff of Europe Brony's Discord. And done by A Pillow in Space. I thought it was kind of funny. It's basically lamenting that Sombra was a wasted character.
Lamenting that all he did was say like 3 words.
Crystals, ponies, slaves. Crystal pony slaves. That's my entire vocabulary.
He really liked crystals, though. He thought that was the salvation of his country. And so, not only did he force everyone to slave in the crystal mines, but then he also built his cities out of crystals, even though it was a terrible building material.
Yeah. Very, very airy, you have to make sure. It just gets too cold in the winter. And that entire area was surrounded by snow.
Yeah.
Now was it... what was the entire like change of climate there? Like outside it was all snowy, but inside the bubble it was warm, and then once it happened, like in the north began to melt. That was weird. Does the love of the crystal ponies affect seasons?
I don't know. I guess so.
Maybe. It's odd.
Why not? Love is
love is a bad.
It's not really a warm feeling unless it's inspired by a hug. Hugs.
Okay. Well, Fim, what do you got? You have Turkmenbashi?
Yes, I love him.
So explain.
Turkmenbashi. He was the leader of Turkmenistan many ages ago. He's dead now. But he was a crazy cult leader, kind of, who ran Turkmenistan. And, yes, basically just you told me to come up with a link of interest. And so Turkmenbashi is interesting. And
so this is just a historical link.
Yeah, it's a kind of a political thing. Turkmenbashi wrote a religious text called the Ruknama, which by law you have to study in school. I believe his successor also wrote his own version of the Ruknama, which you also have to study in school. But I don't know if his successor is still alive, because it's a really unstable area, and it's ruled by crazy people. So Turkmenistan is what a country would be if it was ruled by the completely insane.
Okay.
So, yes, Turkmenistan.
Yeah, Turkmenbashi, Featherprop saying Turkmenbashi is like Borat in real life.
Turkmenistan, I think, is where Borat is from, right?
No, he was
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. Oh, okay. Well, I think that his crazy society was based kind of on Turkmenistan, because they are just nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all right. Well, go ahead and check that out. We've got a link there. Tell you what, I'll clean it and add this. So
Okay.
Copy.
So it does save automatically. I'm not sure if you cleverly avoided my. I changed the word episode to banana at one point. I don't know if you cleverly avoided that or not.
Wait, where'd banana go?
On the last email that we read, I changed. Let me see. Imminent soon. Hopefully, release of Double Sonic Rainbow Fan Banana.
That's
And I read it because I figured whatever.
Okay, good. I didn't catch whether or not you did that, but I'm glad that I was disrupted.
delicious
Good.
fan bananas. All right, that takes care of one cool thing. So go ahead and check those out. Those are our 3 neat links that you can do. And you know what? That's going to go ahead and draw us to the end of this episode.
Somebody wants the pinky voice, so.
Oh, go ahead.
Do the pinky voice! I don't know, pinky has that. It's too late. I'm drinking. I got someone.
You got Starry. She's chuckling here in the background.
Well, she's sweet then. Thank you, Star.
I like your voices.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, let me go ahead and give out all the thank yous. First off, I want to go ahead and thank you, Fim, for jumping in on the episode today.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we'll have to play with the feet a little bit to do a little bit of interesting cleanup on this one. But you know, as I said, it was I love the animation, and yeah, it's definitely touching a little bit of the darker bits and pieces of the episode of the fandom in the show. But I think that the what you do.
I tend to tread into kind of unwholesome territory sometimes.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Well, we can play with that and we can tinker with it a little bit. So no big deal. So yeah, thank you very much, man. I said keep going, and you know I'm looking forward to the My Little Dashie animation that you got going forward. So you know, hopefully that's going to be out. Any idea with next week or so, or?
I don't think it'll be that soon. Like I said, I expect late December probably, because we're getting to the end of it. We are getting to the last probably like 5-6 minutes or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll be done soon. But you have to remember the whole thing is like 20 minutes, so it does take a long time to produce.
Definitely.
I can't say for sure, but yep, it's coming up soon.
Well, looking forward to it either late this month or maybe early next month. So that'll be good. All right, excellent. And I want to always thank Sandy for jumping in here and being his Sandy face self. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Have a better week.
I will try.
And I want to go ahead and thank all the fans that are with us, whether they be the ones that are jumping in on justin.tv/Bronyville podcast, whether you be a iTunes listener or a fan that listens to the show, depending on whichever aggregator they actually use. I love having you. You're all awesome, awesome fans of ours. You keep us going with all of your wonderful emails. As I said, you can email across to us, or, you know, just general praise that you have across to us. So thank you very much, all of you. And now to go ahead and round up where you can find our particular stuff. You can find our website either at bronieshow.com or bronyvillepodcast.com. You can email across at bronyville@gmail.com. You join us roughly every Saturday, noon Pacific Standard Time at JustinTV/Bronyville Podcast. Please leave us an iTunes review. If you do that, then, hey, guess what? We go ahead and talk about your name on the show and say how awesome you are. And donations, we say it for that too. You should listen to the show on Celestia Radio every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, and 11 p.m. UTC. My Twitter account is at Bronyville.
Mine's at Chip Sandy.
We have meetup groups where mine is Bronies of Northern California.
And mine's North Texas Bronies.
And remember, if you like us to go to any convention, please make sure that you go to their forums, you go and find their email addresses and say, hey, we like these guys, they interview good, they say nice things. Please, we want them to convention because we want to go ahead and put on shows for you.
And actually, I do need to talk to you after this recording about that, AC.
Sure, all right. And we have a request. Paige Turner wants to hear FimFlam say your closing at the end of the show.
What is the from like Rainbow Dash Presents?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, there we go. So the end.
There you go. All right.
That's the story.
All right, thank you, everybody. We'll go ahead and join us next week. We might have a special guest, maybe even a show personality on the show next week, so we're looking forward to it. But we got to go ahead and close it for now. We've had our episode. This has been episode number 84. Sleep well, everybody.
Adios.
All right, let me hit the button. I moved the recorder. It's further away. It's hard to get to the button. All right, recorder done. All right. That is the episode. Thank you very much, Fim, for joining in on that.
That's no problem. I hope that the dark humor was not in bad taste or anything. I'm not sure.
Well, it will be something. I'll probably just have our audio editor. We do some we do Ye's particular things, and we probably will have to just hit a few of those, but that's no big deal because that shouldn't be too bad. So
okay.
I wouldn't worry. Trust me, I wouldn't worry about it too much. We should be able. We totally should be able to do that.
I did see some comments in the chat that they were not expecting the I brought up rape surprisingly often, which I apologize for. I didn't even think about.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
That's fine, man. As I said, it's just it's totally fine. We can. That's the benefit of doing something like this. We can definitely play with some stuff in post processing.
Okay.
So that'll be fine. Let's see. Looking through this. Let somebody. Twisted Haywire. Yes, my beard is gone. Now I'm just a stubble. I successfully removed that from my face. So.
Now he's next to you.
Yeah, now Starry actually likes me. She finds me attractive once more.
Can we try to get Mike back on the show?
Sure.
We don't really have to try. We just be like, hey, Mike.
Mike,
we're gonna do a show.
Come on the show. You like being with us, don't you? Well, I mean,
right.
And we're gonna have him January. He's gonna be back on the show. We've got that big thing in FC, so it's gonna be him. It's gonna be Dusty. It's gonna be
Mitty.
It's gonna be Mitty Mandy. Yep.
He sent me a request to do I think a dub of one of our songs. Or something. Maybe it wasn't him. I thought it was him, though.
XL's Hedge just sent me a message asking, why is Sorry so mad at Chef and why are you tied up? Based off of the image that is on the stream right now. It's simply a silly image.
Oh, it's an icon relating back to when, that picture of AC tossed in the closet with duct tape over his mouth and hooves. And that's Starry warding me off with her needles. Thing, witch ponies.
Maybe N-Boss.
Yeah, so if you play the Bronyville game, the end boss is Starry.
Yeah, remember when Uramis was on? It was like that.
Oh boy. Some ponies use shotguns, she uses knitting hooks. Knitting needles, yeah. Yeah, let's see.
I got a contact from Kenza, that girl I was telling you about over in Denmark. Apparently, what she started to do is she'll kind of sleep because she's developed really strange hours, so she can talk to me during she'll go to bed for a little while and then kind of wake up and talk to me in the evenings, and because our hours are different. But she got a call from some stranger who then watched her sleep for like 20 minutes.
So literally it auto accepted and then webcammed on and then.
Yeah, because she's got it programmed to do that, so that when I call her, I can tease her until she wakes up, which normally is what I would do. Is I'd be like, hey, Kenza, and then she'll wake up and then be like, oh, Greg,
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, apparently you can. And but she'd never had anyone call her besides me up until this time, when some guy just randomly called her and it auto answered, and she slept for 20 minutes while he was just watching her. Yeah, so now she's all upset.
So Tetra was curious as to what fanfics you were discussing during the show. If you could contact him. Be like, what horrible shows were you talking about? Or
Horrible fanfics.
There was Bittersweet. Yeah, there was Bittersweet, which is silly.
Yeah, most of them are pretty big. Bittersweet wasn't badly written. Most of the fics I do are not. They're not like badly written. They just kind of they just have holes in logic. You know, like they just do things and they don't think about those things. So they kind of get strange. Like Pinky killing herself with diabetic ketoacidosis is one of those things. Like if she were going to kill herself, why not just like jump off a building?
Because
because the basis is that she loved sweets so much she couldn't live without them. So if she had to go, she obviously had to go with the thing that she loved the most.
I know, but it wasn't the sweets and happiness that killed her. It was ketoacidosis, which is like not happy at all. It's like a really terrible way to die. It's terrible. Like, you get, like, internal bleeding and all kinds of horrible things. It's not good.
Well, maybe she just would have gone into a diabetic coma. You know, that's the other idea.
Yeah, if she'd lucked out, then yes. Let me see if I can look up some of the things that happened to you. It's just, like, bad.
Oh, no, Starry's looking at stuff at Michael's, I think. Uh-oh. This is bad. Oh, no, she's looking at decoration stuff. This is bad. No! Can't make me! Look at me, I'm being unshushed over here.
Let me see. I know, because dehydration is one of the things. Skin turgor, which I didn't look up, and I just lost body water. So yeah, really bad dehydration. Like, see, I actually asked some of my medical field friends about this. I was like, "What happens when you die from diabetic ketoacidosis?" And they're like, "It's horrible." They're just like, "You don't want this." You get nauseous, so Pinky would be throwing up. She would urinate a lot. She'd have terrible abdominal pain. Let me see.
Now I'm imagining all this happening using the Pinky voice of just like, I don't want.
Pinky accepts this fate.
Excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom.
Pinky is going to vomit now. Leave Pinky be. But it's like this evolves over 24 hours. So like Dash honestly comes over like as Pinky is killing herself. And just like, Pinky is vomiting now. Allow Pinky to die. No, Pinky. I'm calling my mom. She'll know what to do. Hi, Mom. No, I'm school's still going good. Keep sending payments for that. No, I'm good. How's Dad? That's good. No, I'm good. No, I'm not dating right now. No. No, I don't have. Well, I have a job, but you know, like not like a good job.
Goes through like hours 6 and 7. What do you mean like, I'm not being responsible?
Hours and I was like, I am totally being responsible. No, don't stop sending money. No, I need money. Don't stop sending money. Mom, come on. And then afterwards, she eventually calls the hospital. She's like, hello. Oh, my address? Yeah, it's like 1234 Rainbow Dash's house. Yeah, that's where I live. No, I know I'm calling from Sugar Cube Corner, but I live at a Rainbow Dash house. Yeah, that's where I live. Okay, yeah, go there. Okay, I'll wait.
Stupid!
I know, but it's like the only way for Pinky to die from ketoacidosis is if emergency help doesn't reach her in like a day. It's one of these. So let me see what else. Like erosion of the esophagus, which is really bad. Yeah. Let me see. Low blood pressure. Her breath will be fruity though, so she'll have sweet smelling breath. That'll be one advantage.
Oh, Pinky, at least your breath smells good. Wow.
Yeah, breath smells okay.
And juicy fruit. You got some juicy fruit in there?
Yeah, breath smells like fruit flavor. So you must be okay. We're probably not needing like real rush.
Let's see. Yeah, everybody's coming up with their different like details. Actually, someone says their brother's in nursing school to die from diabetic whatever it is. Brain stops working. I don't know. Bittersweet is one of those of just like, all right, listen, we've got 2 pages to set everything up. Here we go. 2 pages. Done. All right, now everyone's sad for another 8 chapters.
Yeah, I know. It's just like Pinky dies from diabetes. Like, by choice, though. That was, like, the worst part is that she dies from diabetes by choice. Like, and of all, like I said, of all the ways you could kill yourself, like, throwing yourself off a bridge, probably a lot faster and less painful than dying from diabetes. Like, and can you imagine just, like, being Dash and watching your friend die from diabetes? Like, all the horrible, like, the vomiting and the esophageal erosion and, like, the appendicitis and everything. Just, like, yeah. Oh my god.
I didn't ever read Bittersweet itself, but there was a side story someone wrote that was all about Apple Bloom coming to terms with it. And the fact that AJ and, like, and Mac were just completely like, we'll figure it out how we're gonna tell her. And she just literally goes like, oh yeah, she's out on vacation. And Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle are just like, what kind of world are you on?
Oh, there was another one, like Final Dreams of a Filly, that was Scootaloo is dead. Fic. Weird, dark, weird fanfics. Unacceptable.
Those are the ones that are just my bread and butter, though, because they're always so crazy. And I mean, like, I know people don't ever understand at first. I'm like, Cupcakes was hilarious, and they just don't get it until like the Rainbow Dash episode comes out, and they're like, oh, you read this fic completely differently than I did. Like, most people just see it at face value, but I see it and I'm like, wait, she did all this in the Cake's basement? And it just cracks me up.
It's like, how did they not know that she was hiding all this stuff down here?
I know, exactly. Like, she'd been doing that, like, in their storage room. And it's like, what? Did they just, like, never go down to the storage room on their own? They just trusted Pinky all the time to stock all their stuff? Like, they never, like, oh, I'm out of napkins, I'll go down in the basement. Why are all these bodies down here? Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think. There was, I was glad in My Little Dash. I was actually kind of playing around some other ideas. Even though it's such a daunting task, I'd almost be curious to find out what you would think about like Fallout Equestria or something like that. Just like,
see, I haven't read that one yet because it's so long, and I just know like it would be like a thing. I'd have to sit down and just like read for hours. I mean, like, I got into have you ever read Harry Potter and the Methods of Rationality?
No.
That was one of those, I got sucked into that and I could not leave my computer until I'm done. Like, I wrapped up my computer for like days. Just like, must read Harry Potter and the Methods of Rationality. It's like about Harry Potter, but it's written from the perspective of a guy he's very practical. And so he's just sort of like, what if Harry Potter realized that there was such a thing as economic arbitrage? Which is like, in the Harry Potter universe, their money is all gold. Like, it's made out of gold coins, and so you bring gold to the goblins and they make coins out of it. And so Harry Potter explains, like, he's a very intelligent kid in this fic, so he explains, he's like, yeah, so if I just take these gold coins and I have them melted down and I sell them to, like, one country that undervalues gold, and then or that overvalues gold, then I take them and then I go to a country that undervalues gold and I buy a bunch of gold from them. I bring them back to Harry Potter universe and I get all these gold coins minted, and like, I have made a profit. And he's like, and I keep doing this until I just crash your economy. Is basically what he does. And so he just goes into all these like very logical reasons. Is like, this is why we don't have a Harry Potter universe. Is because if we did, all it would take is like one intelligent guy to game the system and ruin everything. So it's kind of like about this kid getting into the Harry Potter universe and using like the scientific method and like understanding of economics and a bunch of really just intelligent things. And I've actually Harry Potter. Are we still online? Are people still? Are people responding to us?
We are still on live on the actual podcast recording is stopped.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're still doing the Justin TV stream is still live.
Okay, I'm just like, someone's like, I've heard Harry Potter, Methods of Rationality is very good. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's really quite a coincidence. Oh, they're listening to us. Okay, so yes, yeah. So Harry Potter, Method of Nationality, the rally, blah. Yeah. So no, it is. It's like, he just sort of deconstructs their universe, though, by being too smart for it. And it's kind of like why Harry Potter could never really exist the way it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is the weird kind of after show we do where we actually just kind of can. We've had this period where we've done pretty much video game reviews and bitched about like Mass Effect 3 and shit like that. So it's the off show where it's just kind of like we're talking about anything.
Oh, okay. See, I dropped my character. Normally in public, FimFlam is kind of a character. I just sort of play it's like a thing I play. Normally I'm really quiet. When I went to Germany with Kenza, it was really she remarked on just how cute I was. Like I was really shy in public. Like I wouldn't kiss her in front of people, or like I would, but it would just be like a real quick peck on the cheek or something like that, and then be like, I know people are watching. Like they don't like it when people make out in public. So
well, then don't make out in public. Not every interaction with a girl in public has to be just like full on 100%. Like we are making out.
I know, but it was always just one of those things like public displays of affection are rude, and so it was just like cute little pecks on the cheek and things like that. And they just crack her up because it was one of those things like I would kiss her and then I like look around to make sure that no one was watching, and stuff like that. And so so the whole
find an old man scowling in the background, just like
oh god, he saw us. Yeah, so FimFlam is kind of a public character. In reality, I'm actually a pretty quiet guy. I don't. So yes, so I was not aware I was still being watched.
No, you're good. As said, the after show is usually just a little bit of just however long someone wants to hang around and how long we want to do it. Starry at this point is looking at jewelry.
Okay.
And I'm typing up convention things. Woo!
You got your big SandyCon like do or die tomorrow, don't you?
Sunday, yeah. I put it forth to the board, and the board goes, "Wow, you've done a lot of work in these last 3 months. Be a shame if we didn't approve it."
Axe.
Yeah. But then again, we're also in the situation where Hasbro's not approving VAs for anybody right now, and we're not going forward with our contract signing until we actually get approval one way or the other from Hasbro. So if Hasbro does no, you can't have VAs, nobody's getting VAs, you're all getting Bs, well, we're totally...
Good night. I'm noticing that the chat today is full of a whole bunch of my old friends. Sean Blackthorn is in. Gunmouth was in earlier. Man, I've just got a bunch of my old friends. Dronebug. Oh, really? Hey, guys.
But yeah, so the situation is we have a contract with the hotel. It's kind of on hold. We have a deal with Hasbro. We're trying to get to talk to Hasbro, but that's on hold, and that's on hold for everybody. The cons that are announcing, like Tara and John Delancey and all that, well, that's because they're rich enough and they're big enough VAs, they don't have to ask permission. That's just kind of how it is. They're also very, very expensive. So there's that. So, yeah, we're not actually on the hook for any money right now. So that's the good thing. But we're also just kind of biding our time and waiting to see if we can actually get guests. And
are you guys on? Running a con?
I am going to try. I'm part of a organization in Dallas that already runs a con, and it's designed to be an umbrella organization with multiple small cons working underneath it. And I would like to expand it at a con, make it a pony con. I recognize Kami Cheetah. I like their art. Gasp! You're a furry?
There are a lot of furries in this fandom. I am surprised sometimes when people come forward with that. And they're like, "I'm a furry," and I'm like, "Oh, cool. I like lesbians." It's okay.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That is the best answer. All right, that's cool to know.
That's good. I look at porn too. I don't know. I don't know why. Some people, I don't know why. Like it's like a way of life or anything like that. It's just, okay.
It's just a fan.
Whatever you do, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of as with the ponies and as kind of with any of that other stuff. It's just repeat to yourself it's just a show or it's just a fandom or just
yeah.
You should really just relax.
Well, you know what though. They've done studies where actually if you give people a choice and you give them like a list of posters to choose from, if you try to if you tell them they're going to have to explain why they chose their poster, they'll often pick a poster that has logical sense but that doesn't really appeal to them. Whereas if you just ask them to take home a poster, they'll bring home something that's like colorful and like pretty and exciting, and they're just like, "Oh, I really like this one," and so they go home with that. But the ones who took home like a poster, it'll be like a cat hanging on a tree. It's like, "Hang in there," and then they write their explanation, and they're like, "Oh, I like that. It inspires me." You find out that the people who took home the cat poster are not as happy as the people who just took home the poster that was colorful and pretty, and it's the same thing I think with this fandom is we've gotten so many people now who try to justify like, why do I like the show, what's good about the show, and they forget that it started off with just people just being like, "Oh, the ponies are cute," like they didn't really know what they liked, they just liked it. And I try to approach the same way even today. Is I'm just like the ponies are cute.
Yeah, I find the ponies are quite good. I find that they are a great reflection into the childhood self of which we once had.
They're so adorable. Like you can analyze, but it's got to be for fun. You can't say I like it because.
Well. If any of y'all, the furries in the chat, if you're familiar with Furry Fiesta, I'm one of the founding members and on the board of directors and staff.
Sorry, that cat picture just totally destroyed Star.
I was like, I'm saying this and then holy crap, what? People are laughing. But this has been sort of a known thing since day freaking one, y'all.
So say it again. Say it again.
I picture guys in like fursuits and like sombreros and stuff like that with like claves.
I know, right? But that's totally not what's going on.
Insects and animal suits and sombreros.
Oh, Gunmouth! Those awful books that y'all just had to get rid of them. But anyways, I'm on the board, I'm on the staff, and I'm also trying to get a PonyCon for North Texas. So that's the whole quote-unquote SandyCon. The current thing is that we are going with more of a costuming angle. Ellen Winkler, who does the ACON costume contest and stuff like that.
And it's close to Halloween, so,
Yeah.
I've seen that all over 4chan. Hoofbeat.
We're not going to talk about that, but
we're not going to talk about Hoofbeat.
We're trying to get a.
What is Patty Cakes about? Someone keeps saying like, "Hey, FimFlam, read Patty Cakes." What is that about? I haven't read that one.
I'm not sure. I haven't read that one or don't know much about it.
Oh, I don't know.
What is that about?
Paige
Turner, tell us.
Patty Cakes.
Yeah, tell us about Patty Cakes, Paige Turner. What is it about?
Sophie Cabra's on the list too.
Patty Cake. No, I probably have to go to Film. I don't know. See, the one thing, Equestria Daily, they kind of give me trouble every now and then. But truth be told, I go to them for fix because they don't host anything that's explicit. So if Equestria Daily won't post it, usually we won't either. Just because like sometimes we make exceptions. It depends. Like they didn't take Rainbow Factory, but
you don't say.
Yes.
Shit.
But they're a good place to go to because you know that anything they have posted is going to be safe for work, pretty much. It's going to be one of those things. Let me see. Lesbian horses. Wants to treat Dash like a baby? Is that what that's about? Okay. Well, okay. It's not on Equestria Daily.
Okay, so the meeting starts.
I'd have to.
It's a real freaking horse magazine.
Texas Hoofbeat.
Oh my god, that is hilarious.
Wait, Hoofbeat is a real horse magazine?
Yeah, Timo Warner just dropped in.
Why won't my horse listen?
Vet rat.
Well, that's good though. That makes sense. They probably did not know that someone was going to make it into a porn about My Little Pony. I don't think that anyone ever built anything and said like, "This could be a porn of My Little Pony one day."
It's a play on Teen Beat or something like that. That was the basis.
And little they know, that's a real horse magazine.
Mm-hmm. That horse needs like some food.
You know what?
Oh, okay.
You know what cracks me up about the hoofbeat porn thing though is that they have like the little marshmallow hooves, but like normal human hands. And so like there are times when they're like wearing slippers. Like I saw pictures of it, and before like I saw like the full thing, I was like, why does Pinky have gigantic like ankles? And like they have like human shoes though. So I just didn't get it. I was like, do they have like toes or not? They don't though. No. Apparently they just have hooves. Like why? I don't know.
Oh God.
Yeah, I have a pretty thick skin. Like you can't really go on 4chan and just be like, oh, I'm totally above certain kind of things, because like 4chan is just terrible. Yeah. They post so much porn, and it's like spam. You just can't get away from it. You're like, stop, I don't want this. And they're like, no, more porn, and you're just like, go away. It's so bad.
Just you all of you complained and you made your own chan, and then you got what you wanted.
And then you post porn.
Yeah.
And then but then they got a janitor, and the janitor deleted all the porn. And personally, I was thankful for that because there was so much porn. It was one of those things like you just go online, you'd be like porn everywhere.
Yeah. The worst I find are the like if I'm going to go down this road, and so I shall. Any of the Pony Thread Simulator thing videos that you can find are just like, oh crap. Like those are just like, oh, these are the worst people.
I want to come inside Rainbow Dash. No. That's a meme that's gotten so like coming inside ponies.
Much after dark.
The internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. So grab your dick and double click for porn.
And next week we're going to try and have Shining Armor on this show.
I think we're doomed. Thanks. I'm sorry, this is the last episode of Bronyville. We're going to go kill ourselves in shame.
Alright, time to set this Winnebago on fire. Whee!
Have you seen Avenue Q?
Yes.
Our time here is ogre.
Love it. Gosh, I went to go see that with my ex-fiance. It's one of those things. I'd love to take Kenza to it. I don't know. I don't think she's seen it.
Well, God, I mean, it's usually on. Yeah, it's usually on. I'm sure it's still on Broadway, but I've seen it on the.
No, it is. It came to my city a couple of years ago, and I went and saw it. I love that. My ex-fiance didn't like it, but Kenza would love it. It's one of those things like. That was one of I don't know. The whole thing with my Kenza would be great. She's great.
And by the way, Cammy is responding about the entire like why things were drawn particular ways for it, because she was one of the ones that drew it.
They don't have to. Oh, really? Make them head proportions. That cracks me up. Oh my gosh. They should have had hand cannons.
Add a power buster. Come on.
Yeah. They'd be like, have sex with me or I will blow you up with my hand cannon.
Hold on, I gotta charge.
Yeah.
She's got the saw. Oh no!
Do you know Sean Baby?
I do.
He's been around forever.
Yeah, he pretty much.
Yeah. I loved his Mega Man stuff.
Yeah, I followed him for a little while he was on over on What Up.
He's on Cracked now.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat the Airman. This is...
Mardi Gras, did you say you'll have Andrew Francis next week? We are trying for it. He sounds receptive. Just have to confirm if he will be on. It'll probably be similar to when we got Amy Keating Rogers, where it is a part of the episode. But we are trying to see if we can get him. We've kind of gotten a tertiary nod. Just to like, yeah, that sounds cool, but we need to actually like finalize it and be like, so here's the contact info. So
Cadence wasn't Hoofbeat?
I don't know. I don't believe.
Who's this guy? This Kami Cheetah guy? He was involved. Tell us.
Cheetah? Yeah, she was involved.
She. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's a lady.
Lady. Yep. Very much a lady.
Very much a lady. I like very much ladies.
they're better than very much mans, and well, very much man ladies is kind of, well, that depends on your personal touch.
They're prettier, nicer. Giant-handed pinky. That's every artist is like that. They're always so hard on their own work, but no, actually the art in Hoofbeats wasn't that bad. You shouldn't be hard on yourself. Giant meaty-handed pinkie pie. Every artist is that way. Petarep is like that on himself. Kenza does that too. We did have one thing. Kenza actually has sent me a comic recently, and it cracked me up because she kind of wanted to expand the drama in the situation, and so she was doing a lot of close-ups, and I was like, they're just kind of having a normal conversation, Kenza. I was like, why? Like, we don't really need them to be like close-up on the mouths. Then it sounds like they're saying really like important things. And then he goes, also, she got you this, and she did like a close-up on a potted plant. I was like, you know that the average reader is going to see that and think that they got the potted plant for, like, it's a letter. He has a letter for the character, and then she's like, and I got you this. And she's like, potted plant. And I was like, I think maybe, like, we should not focus on the potted plant. But Kenza's a really good artist, though. It's just one of those things that's, it's tough.
Where's her art at? Like, it's just Deviant Art, or where is there anywhere
Kenza?
to see it? Yeah.
No, she's on donsomewhere.com. She also she does a lot of art in general. Actually, one of the reasons I brought her on is because I asked her to do a. She just told me, she's like, oh, I do art sometimes, and I was like, oh really? I was like, can you draw me a picture of Gilda riding Rainbow Dash and shooting changelings on a train with a machine gun? And she goes, okay. And she did, and it was a really good picture. I was just like, wow, you're actually a really good artist. I said, do you maybe want to do, like, a comic for us? And so she kind of went for it. And so is everyone who kind of gets in on my stuff. They always start off with no real experience. I mean, like, we're just amateurs. We just kind of make it up as we go. So Kenza's sort of, she's the same way. This is her first comic she's ever done. And that's why she kind of also wants to do this Happy Pages, is because she really likes the story. I've explained to her the story outline for this horror story, but she's not sure. She's never done comics before, and so we kind of, like, I get a comic, and I'm like, well, like, it's like your art is really good, but the like the close-ups are just sort of silly, and plus it's kind of like one of those things is I'm seeing her, she's kind of my sweetheart, and so it creates she's a very intelligent girl, so I can kind of tell her about like, this is what I want, and this is kind of like what we're getting, and she's reasonable. But I don't want to make her feel bad about her work or anything like that either, because she's my sweetie. But
I'm really getting this feeling that you've got the digs for this girl.
Yeah. No. Kenza's great. Like I said, we just get along so well. I can't believe it's not. I'm not the kind of guy who would normally fly out across the Atlantic Ocean to see a girl. It's really kind of unusual for me to do something like that. But Kenza's special. She's kind of, she's my girl. I get along with Kenza so well. But yeah. So that aside, No, she's got another thing though. It's like a little pyramid-looking character, and he's just sad all the time. But it's kind of like almost self-inflicted sadness. So it's sort of like adorable, like really dark humor, and she just wanted to call it the funny pages.
Mm-hmm. So just dark humor. It's just like, hey, that's almost very Perry Bible Fellowship style of just like, oh, this is a real light name, and then all of a sudden just dark.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of that, because all the characters are just really cute and kind of like kid-friendly, but then they're just really like sad. So that's kind of what she wants to do, and she's got sketches, is what she's got. And she's talked about just sending me like full comics, and so I asked her if she could do that, and we'll post it. Because a lot of what we do is just kind of very loose. Like we don't really none of us can really live on what we make. I think Petterup is the only one who really makes more than he spends. I've got to pay, since I run everything. I pay for the website and all the other stuff, and I'm not in debt anymore. There was a point when I was just like in the red. Like everything that I've done has been just an expense, but I finally come out of the red with the album sales. Is what really saved us in the end. I put out an album and a bunch of people bought it, which is really great. And those album sales were like, oh man, finally I'm not in debt anymore. But that was another one too. Is I was like, guys, I called the other guys. I was like, guys, I'm not in debt. I was like, do you want $150? And they were like, yeah, I want $150. I was like, I have $150 to give you. So I paid Alan and DeMarcus and whatnot. And I was like, thanks for your help, guys. Everyone loves your characters. You guys are great. So we're just really it's not very profitable, but we're finally at least paying off all expenses and to run the site and everything. So I don't know. It's the same way kind of with Kenza, is that is she just kind of comes on, she just goes, and the only payment that she expects is that I come and see her when I get the chance, and she's sweet and just so sweet. I just adore that girl. Payment is your love. The payment is love. I looked into getting her a plushie, actually. I tried to contact some people, and I was like, can you make me a Mrs. Buzzy Bumblebee and then put it on a sunflower? And the reason is because Kansas' favorite flower is the sunflower, and also I come from Kansas, and our state flower is the sunflower. And then she made up a song. It's like, oh Gregory, I'm your flower, you're my bumblebee, and that was just kind of cute and silly, and so I was like, make me a plush. I was like, I need a bumblebee on a sunflower, and I just could not find a plush artist who would make me one of those. I was so disappointed. Her birthday is on the 13th
of December.
Yeah, this month it's coming up.
Oh, yeah, you got like 5 days.
I know, and I still haven't thought up a good gift. She says that like poetry or a song is good enough. I've written her songs before. Auburn Lady was about Kenza, in fact, but I haven't come up with anything good. I wanna get her something really nice.
All right, guys. Suggestion time. Here we go. How do you woo this lady? Give a good suggestion. Money. That's a good one. Oh, there you go.
Deep inside.
Now in Dash voice. Girl, you just don't know.
Eyes, what you do to me.
When you hold me in your
arms so tight. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. Oh gosh, she's great though. I went to Germany with her, and her friends are too. They just got very smart friends. It was funny. It was like me and like 3 girls, but they would come in and they were really social, like girls are. Like they would come in and be like, "Oh, Kenza, can I borrow your makeup?" And then like while they were using her makeup, like they would just talk about politics and stuff like that. So it was just kind of fascinating to be in the room with them, because they would just like talk nonstop about stuff, but it was always just kind of engaging topics that I really liked, and I don't know, just I like a singer a song that always worked. Yes. So yeah.